There goes my nice little button to say we're live. Good evening, everybody, and everybody who's already in the chat room and those that come in shortly. Today is the 4th of February 2018. Today is Angel and Artist Day. So on the Hangout so far, we have Yudit from Israel, Patricia from the UK, we have Angel from America, and we have Artist from Germany. So good evening, everybody.
Good morning.
Afternoon. Yeah, it's good morning to you, isn't it?
Hello.
It's late evening for you, dear, and morning for you. It's crazy, isn't it?
It's the way it works.
Yeah, it is. And also, Yudit and Angel have got really nice weather, unlike the UK. The UK is pretty... And even if you do see the sun, within minutes, it's gone. But,
wow.
We pay
yeah. Sorry?
We pay extra for the sun here.
Do you? How much? I want it.
Have to ask Al Gore. I don't know.
Yeah, it's my sun, not yours. It's mine. And Yudit, you've just come back, haven't you?
Oh yeah, it's summer here. So hot. Incredible weather. Yeah.
Is it what it is about what it is in January? Is it this hot in January for you, Angel? Is it this hot in January for you, Yudit, usually?
Yeah. Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
We accept the snow in this time, but yeah, summer coming. Yeah, go ahead.
I've been about here where I am for about 3 decades now, and the first time I came was in February of the year that I came here first. And I had just come from winter weather where I was shoveling snow and everything. So coming to California, where it really hardly ever gets, well, at least where I am, it hardly gets cold enough to snow. I can go up to the mountains that are about 2 hours away and go skiing if I wished, but we pay for the climate that's the warmer weather, and I can't really tell if it's normally this warm, but if it's within a few degrees either way, I mean, it's always nice weather. You can like live outside if you had to all year long here, where you're not covered with snow unless you go to the mountains.
Have you not had any more, like, I haven't been watching this last few days, any more earthquakes?
Technically we have earthquakes all the time, every day. Big ones, I don't think they've had big ones, but they have a lot of little ones. That their earth, she is a rumbling. I mean that, and we also got Yellowstone National Forest, which has magma flowing underneath it. Some of the roads are actually melting. They've had to close the roads because the tar in the roads is actually softened up because the ground is so warm.
Whoa. I didn't know that.
Yeah, well, they don't want to panic people. But when they close the roads, and the reason they close the roads is because the can't drive on them because the tarmac, the blacktop is melting.
I didn't know that. Yeah, just in case suddenly the road melts and you get sucked in underneath with all the magma.
Well, the tires, they suck into it.
Yeah, so I can imagine.
If you have an RV or something like that, because that's mostly where the tourists are going, and they're going through there with their 80,000-pound RVs with their high-def TV in the back, and they park to take a scenic look, and they come back and their tires are like 6 inches into the blacktop. That's not good.
How far away is that from you then, Angel?
6-8 hours.
Oh, it's quite a long way then.
Yeah, it's not something I want to hike. Although I like to go up there and hike it.
Patricia and I don't get this problem here, do we, Patricia? Is she there?
No, I'm here. I'm here. No,
You
we
did
don't get
tell
that problem.
You did tell me that there was an earthquake near you, wasn't there, or something, that you felt it?
Oh, a good few years ago, yeah.
Mm.
It was.
So we still go ahead, my darling.
I don't know exactly where it came from, but it was the aftershocks. It shook my bed and woke me up. So I don't know what that was, but it was weird.
Yeah, well, for most of us who haven't been in an earthquake, it's hard to probably explain, except when you've been in one.
I'll tell you how to think about it. Think about sitting on a folding table, like a card table, unstable table, and somebody shakes the table. That's kind of what it's like, because the representation you have of moving around, because the whole room is moving around you, and you're kind of the only thing staying still, because naturally you try to stay still, but all the walls are moving at the same time. And it can be violent or it can be a flow, depending on what type of an earthquake it is. You know, sometimes it'll be smash, 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 and sometimes it'll be where the room is flowing. So, I've been half a dozen.
Robert Kidner, it sounded horrible, the one when he was in Mexico. His whole room was thrown all over the place, and he said the whole town was crying afterwards. You can only imagine that, can't you? What that must be like, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people crying.
Have you been in like a shop that's next to a railroad when the train comes by and just everything shakes? Or a big truck or something like that? They can be like that too. They don't have to be super violent. It's just the earth shaking. But sometimes it is, and it's not just a localized thing. It's just picture the whole building shaking, like a huge truck driving by. That's kind of what it's like. And you don't know if it's going to shake just enough for something to fall, or everything kind of stays still, just bounces around.
Well, I haven't myself, so yeah, I'll take your word for it. And looking at the way Robert and his family looked after the Mexican one, last year, then yeah, it's all right. I don't want to go in one.
I don't know anybody who would actually volunteer for it. It's the unknown. She was also mentioning the aftershocks. You think everything is fine. You think everything is cool. And then you get hit like 20 minutes later with another rumble. But you don't know if the other one was actually a pre-quake, because there are aftershocks and there are also pre-shocks where it'll shake a little and then the next one is actually worse. So, when Mother Nature burps, you don't.
That's the slight bit of fear, isn't it, for everybody when they don't know?
Right. That's why I kind of like a tornado or a hurricane better, because at least when the hurricane leaves, it's not like, oh my God, it's coming back again. And the tornado, you can see it going off over the hill, yay, it's gone. It's not quite the same as not knowing, because an earthquake, you don't know. It's 90 minutes later, you might get hit with something. Weeks later, you might get hit with something. It's a derivative of it. I mean, it's just, but we pay extra to live here because of the sunny weather.
There's always this bit about the Andreas fault, isn't it? That maybe California was slipping to the sea. And it's like, 1 minute you're on land, the next minute you're on island.
I don't think, unless it like either liquefied and ran into the sea or cracked off. But even then, I think that's thousands and thousands and thousands of years later. Yes, I can see it moving, but I don't think it's going to go splish. Either way, if nature does something that violent, there's not too much anybody can do about it. There's no life raft big enough. There's no, maybe a nice hot air balloon and you're hovering above it. That's about it. Earthquakes don't affect planes, I don't think. So if you're in an airplane or something, when you know when it's coming, that's about the only way to be safe.
Well, yeah, you wouldn't notice it in an aeroplane, would you?
Not unless there are magnetic anomalies as well, because that much land mass moving. And then I would think that with all the sensitivity of aircrafts, we would have heard about that, hopefully, by now. But don't know.
The really strange thing was that Robert Kidner said that, that there's like a wave hit them. I've never heard of that before. Not that I want anybody to go through an earthquake, but if anybody else does and they feel these waves going through them.
That's what I'm saying. You either have where it's violent, where the land is moving, so you're standing there and the walls are just shaking, kind of, or where it's rolling. You're standing there and it feels like you're on a boat. You're standing in your house and you feel like you're on a boat. It's freaky.
I can only imagine. I nearly was in one when I was sweet 16. I went to California. My aunt lived there in San Jose. And then, I don't know, for about 4 or 5 days, we went down to Los Angeles, went to Universal Studios and Disneyland and all those kind of things. But while we were there, San Jose had a 7-point earthquake, but we missed it because we were in Los Angeles. That's the closest I've come to one, I think. But I wasn't there anyway, so yeah. Yeah. Anyway, Artis is being very, very quiet there because Artis is holding off on lots to say, aren't you, Artis? Artis.
Yeah, that's for sure. Yeah.
Well, you take the show.
Well, I want to present a couple of things.
I'm just putting you up there so that people could see you, Artis.
Okay.
We're all ready.
First, I'm going to show you a video by Brian Forster, pasted together. There are loose videos on his Facebook, and I asked him if I can show them, and he always says, yeah, go ahead. So I will show a video of Brian Forster. And I hope the sound works. Because I have new speakers, so let's hope it works the way it's supposed to. Okay, this is the screen. Now I have to plug in and plug out for the sounds. Just a second.
Artis, I thought we did all this before we went live. Ha ha. There's Astro. Hello, Astro. Oh, now he's muted. I thought we did the sound check before we went live. Anyway, hi, Astro. I don't know why he's just disappeared without saying anything. Artis, do you know that you're muted?
He can't hear you when he doesn't have his headset on.
I don't know why he's muted him. There you go, we've lost him. No! He was just about to present something.
What I like to say, Karen, is the place where I've been in Sodom and Gomorrah is it's a place where is the plate that Conan played Syria and Africa. So we have the same problem with that how do you say, when the Mother Earth move, how do you call it?
Earthquake. Earthquake.
That's right. Yes. Yes.
Okay,
So
so
Syria and Africa that come.
Yeah, I forget that you're on the edge of Africa, aren't you? Or in Africa in the olden days, isn't it?
Yeah. We are in the middle.
Mm.
Yeah.
Artist is back now. Artist, you're
yeah,
muted. That's it, you're muted. You were muted and I was talking to you and then you just dropped off.
can you hear me?
We can.
Okay. Yeah, some technical thing. I don't know. Okay, we always have a technical thing. So now I'm gonna test the video again.
I thought we already did all this. That's it. I thought we did all this before we came live.
I did, but something went wrong.
Okay, then. We'll just have a go then, Artist.
Yeah, I'm ready now. Okay. Here we go.
Coming to you live from Los Angeles, California. Unfortunately, I tried to let you see the presentation of the Paracas DNA results, but I was told to turn it off. So please stay tuned. There will be updates of what the DNA results were. The DNA results actually were incredibly complicated. So it's not simply a thing about that maybe they came from a specific part of the world. It's going to take me some time to actually figure out what the results mean. But again, very, very complicated. What it does show for sure is that the Paracas elongated skull people were not 100% Native American. They were a mix, or even you could say, in some ways, a hybrid of different people. Their blood types are very complicated as well. They should be blood type O if they're 100% Native American, and that's not the case. So that again is something that I will report to you. And again, I'm sorry that I had to turn off the live feed, but I was told by certain people in the conference that I was not allowed to do that since it was being live streamed. But you will all of you that are interested in the DNA results of the Paracas people, I will let you have everything that I know. So all the best from Los Angeles, California. Okay, I'm back again. What I can tell you is that we're likely looking at a subspecies of humanity as regards the Paracas. They may wind up being Homo sapiens Paracas or Homo sapiens sapiens Paracas. The conference is still on, so it's not finished yet, and I'll give you an update about it at the end of the conference, and also, again, I'll be posting more information about what is being revealed literally right now. Quite exciting, very complicated. It'll take quite a while to actually study the report. A book has come out featuring all 8 of us writing portions of that book. And coming to you live from Los Angeles International Airport, where there are way too many people. Another little update from today, the Paracas elongated skulls. Seems to be a lot of DNA evidence from extreme Eastern Europe and extreme Western Asia. More specifically, I'm talking about the area in between the Black Sea and the Caspian Sea, where ancient elongated skulled people lived I think about 3,000 years ago. So I think we're looking at a migration pattern starting in the Caspian Black Sea area and then entering through the Persian Gulf and then moving eastwards, eventually winding up on the coast of Peru. A little bit of Chinese for you there. So that's the hypothesis I'm developing now. I still haven't read all of the results, but it's looking that way to me. Is there alien DNA? We don't know, because we can't compare. All we can do is we can compare what is known in terms of haplogroups of humanity, and that's in a facility called GenBank located in the United States. So thankfully, the Canadian lab at Lakehead University, which was our premium lab, and then also a lab in California, were able to do very good analysis costing $100,000 to figure out what's going on. So again, I believe I'm seeing a migration pattern from the Caucasus area eastwards into the Persian Gulf and then eastwards, eventually winding up on the coast of Peru. And the blood types, 10 of the Paracas elongated skull's blood were tested, and they should be 100% type O because that is Native American. It's turning out high percentages of type A, a small percentage of type B, very high percentage of type AB, and less than half is O. So the Paracas were an incredibly complex ethnic mix of people. But where does the actual elongated skull aspect come from? Another report for you tomorrow. Greetings again from loud Los Angeles International Airport. This is Brian checking out for now. Hi there, this is a live feed to you from me in El Salvador at the airport on my way back to Peru. And so I wanted to give you another DNA update, the results of yesterday's study. There you see El Salvador in the background. And I've actually been able to study the data now, and what I'm finding out is that there are a number of different haplogroups that were found in the DNA tests of the Paracas elongated skulls. And these haplogroups, which is your genetic ancestry, they don't fit in with the history of Peru in any way, shape, or form. So all native people of pre-Columbian America, especially from Mexico down to Tierra del Fuego, they're supposed to only be haplogroups A, B, C, and D. And those haplogroups correspond with the migration of people across the Bering Land Bridge, say 12,000 plus years ago. But the anomalies that are showing up in the Paracas elongated skulls, especially those which are very large and appear to be natural in form, suggest an origin point in extreme Eastern Europe and extreme Western Asia. So I've been able to, I believe, pin down the location of origin of the Paracas. This corresponds with the work of Marc Laplume. Mark, if you're there, you're the one who found this first, at least 3 years ago. So it appears that the largest elongated skulls on the planet have been found A, in Paracas, Peru, and B, in the Caucasus area, in between the Black Sea and the Caspian Sea. Those are the locations of the largest elongated skulls. So my theory is that there was a subspecies of human, which we're going to be eventually calling Homo sapiens sapiens Paracas, and they were living in the area in between the Caspian and Black Sea. They were invaded by somebody, as typically happens to indigenous cultures, especially ones that are of a peaceful nature. More warlike people move in, take over, and so they were forced to flee. And by studying the wind and currents of the oceans, I've been able to come up with the following concept, is that what they did is they moved southwards until they found the Persian Gulf. And then they sailed down through the Persian Gulf, and once they left that area, the boat or boats were automatically probably taken by the prevailing currents and winds, which would have taken them eastward. So eastward into the Pacific Ocean. And over the course of a period of time, maybe tens of years or hundreds of years, they began to breed with people in the Pacific. And that's why we're getting such a complicated readings of blood types, because Native American people, if they're 100% indigenous, are supposed to be and supposed to have been 100% O-type blood. But in the 10 samples of the Paracas that were done, only 43% are blood type O. You have a very high percentage of blood type A, you have some blood type B, and a very strange high percentage of blood type AB. AB only represents 3% of the population of the planet, but in the Paracas samples, it's something like 30%. So you have this very complicated migration, I believe, by people fleeing their homeland. Then they wind up eventually, again, how many years that took, I don't know. They made it to Tahiti. From Tahiti, they were able to sail south to New Zealand. And then once they hit New Zealand, they were able to catch the current, the Humboldt current that took them up the coast of South America. They were looking for a good harbor of some kind in order to be able to land their ships or boats. And when they hit the largest natural bay on the coast of Peru, which is Paracas, that's where they stopped, and that's where they decided to establish themselves, because almost nobody was living there at the time. And then you had these very tall, elongated skull people, Homo sapiens sapiens Paracas, who lived there probably in relative peace, but over the course of time, they had to breed with local native people. Otherwise, their bloodline would become too concentrated, and there would be too many genetic problems with them. So that's what we're, I believe, looking at now. I believe it's a migration from the Caspian Black Sea area across and into the Pacific, and eventually they found Paracas, probably about 900 BC, and they lived in relative peacefulness and calmness in a very arid, dry, but abundant underground water location. And then in 100 AD, the invasion of the Nazca people happened from the north. And when the Nazca entered the area, they slaughtered the elongated people, who were only the royal class of people. So that again is my theory, that the Nazca people invaded, wiped out the red-haired, tall, elongated skull people, took over the land, and that's where we're at the moment. Thank you so much for being interested, and greetings from El Salvador. Hi there, I'm back once again with an update from El Salvador, where I'm in transit heading back to Peru, and I just wanted to mention something else that happened yesterday. We had 3 medical experts with us. We had Dr. Malcolm Warren, Rick Woodward, and Dr. Michael Alday with us. Dr. Alday is a medical doctor who worked with the American military for decades. Dr. Malcolm is a chiropractor, and Rick Woodward is an archaeologist and anthropologist who has a lot of knowledge as regards normal human anatomy. And all 3 of them stated quite emphatically that because of the abnormalities found in some, or with some of the elongated skulls from the Chongo Cemetery in Peru, they have no other choice but to state that some of these ancient Paracas were a subspecies of humanity. They said there's no way that some of the strange things, aspects that they found with some of the skulls there's no way that could be cradle headboarding or cranial deformation. It had to be genetic. They had to have been born with these abnormalities, and therefore they all three stated that the original Paracas people of the coast of Peru had to have been a subspecies of humanity that was able to breed with Homo sapiens sapiens. And when asked what the ancient Paracas should be called, they said Homo sapiens sapiens Paracas. So there you have three medical experts stating without a doubt in their professional opinions that the original Paracas people were not what we would call Homo sapiens sapiens. Of course, many of you are going to say, is part of the genetic makeup alien? At this point, we have no way to be able to tell that. It's an option, but we don't even know how we would go about trying to find that out. Because again, the way that the DNA is tested is every what's called haplogroup in the world, which is Homo sapiens sapiens, has been marked and tested. So everyone from Africa, or every type of human being from Africa, from Asia, from the Americas, from Australia, etc., all Homo sapiens sapiens that we know of have been mapped. So what the program does is it simply takes the sample that you have put into it and it compares that DNA with what is known. And if it was to be alien, or if there was an alien aspect to it, then the program would simply say unidentified. And so that hopefully will be the next step that we will get into at some point. But this is going to very much shock the academic world because they've tried to cover up things like this, that there are abnormalities, strange things that happened in the past. They try to write everything off as being in any type of elongated skull. They immediately state, well, it's cranial deformation, it's head binding, it was a ceremonial practice, but now we have proof that there were people walking this earth 3,000 to 2,000 years ago. That's 1,600 years before any European person was on the coast of Peru. These ancient Paracas people were quite an advanced social society, and they started out with having natural elongated heads. They were also, we've estimated, between 5'9" and 6 feet tall. They had dark red hair, which is not Native American. They could very well have had blue eyes or green eyes. Those characteristics as well are not Native American. And if they had greenish or bluish eyes, they probably had very light colored skin that would be quite sensitive to the sun. Paracas is a place that gets 350 days of sun per year. And so that's why I believe that the Royal Paracas people, the Royal Paracas were the ones with the elongated heads, not the common people. They were just local indigenous people. But the royal family of the Paracas, they lived in subterranean underground houses. And I think the reason for that is that they had light colored skin, probably sensitive eyes, and so therefore, because of the extreme sunshine that occurs in the area of Paracas, Peru, that they had to live underground. That's my theory. Thank you very much. I will be giving you another update once I'm back in Peru, but I believe for now I have to sign off from El Salvador. Okay, I also just wanted to let you know that this book will be available within 2 to 3 weeks, and it features articles written by Eli Marzulli, Mondo Gonzalez, myself, Dr. Michael Alday, anthropologist Rick Woodward, Dr. Malcolm Warren, Richard Shaw, and Dr. Michael Alday. And this book is the book about the DNA results. It'll be available through L.A. Marzulli's website, and also the DVD of yesterday's press conference featuring all 8 speakers will also be available through www.lamarzulli.net. So lots of great photographs and articles and the whole procedure that's involved, and some great photographs of some of the elongated skulls, interpretations by Marcia K. Moore. So again, this will be coming out on L.A. Marzulli's website in 2 to 3 weeks. Thank you.
Okay, that was it. That was the video. I get back to you in 1 second.
Oh, I was just about to ask you a question, Artis. He's gone. Very interesting. Oh, and he is gone.
Wrong button.
Wrong button. Yeah, there he is. Are you back, Artis?
Yeah.
When he said subspecies, what did he mean by that? Just that they weren't the original people? When he said subspecies?
Yeah, probably. But it's mixed, eh? They mixed in with the local people.
I did have a question. Do you think this is when the Great Flood happened and these are all the people fleeing?
Could be. But I think it's on a later date. But who knows? But Angel, you want to say something?
I was saying like subspecies would be like if you find a squirrel or something that has a different ear canal or a different nasal passage. They wouldn't be, they'd be a mostly squirrel but different, kind of like how zebra and horses. They're both equines, but zebras are not horses and horses are not zebras. So they divide it, it becomes a subspecies. Where one of the primary things that he was pointing out is a lot of times they would say they did the binding, where they take like pieces of wood and they smash your skull, and that will cause your skull to form in that pattern. However, when you look at the skulls themselves, they have a different cranial pattern of the skeleton. Hence, they are not human. They are not like us. They are a different species, but they are mostly human. Therefore, we're putting them into a subspecies.
Yeah.
Okay, the way I remember my history book was we're Homo sapiens, and then there was the ones before, they were something sapiens. And this is what history says, and we know that's a lie now, but it was a bit like before that. Humans might have been, I'll mate with Angel this year and have a baby. Next year it'll be Artist. We never stayed together. We weren't having relationships together. We were just having children together or having babies, children. But after that, when we became Homo sapiens, that's when we started to have relationships and stay with the humans that we had the babies with. But I mean, we don't know if any of that's true anymore, but that's what I remember reading in a book I've got downstairs. Mm-hmm. And then the ones before us, they had slightly different brains, and then for some reason their brains overheated or something. Does that make sense? That's how I remember it.
Well, it could be.
Well, you also want to think that most of those books are without any skull fragments or any, skeletons. They're hypothetical stories that really promote evolution, where there would be a change of species, where we have never documented a change of species. We've documented a change within the species, which is truly what evolution is, a change within the species. And if you look at Darwin's book, I think it even says it's the evolution of the species, because it's each species does have evolution. However, the whole way they went from like there are people like Lloyd Pye, who died like 2 or 3 years ago, was on the same kind of thing that Bren Forrester's doing, but he had his skull child was his baby. In fact, for all I know, Bren may even have that particular skull right now. But Lloyd Pye pointed out, now that we had DNA, Watson and Crick came after Darwin. We have DNA. Now we have mitochondrial DNA. We have the ability to look at the way that the skulls are shaped a lot more than just drawings in a book of how Darwin did it. We actually can look at x-rays. We can actually look at photographs of skeletons. Like normal everyday people, we can actually look with our own eyes, and we can see that the Darwin book, the Darwin timeline, that the jumping from here to here, it's not within reality. It was a really good guess with the knowledge at the time, biased on the fact that they wanted to show evolution so that they could easily mentally endorse killing off the Orientals and the black people of the time, which were seen as a lesser human if you believe the evolution of man towards the Aryan race. And that really goes back to, Mason stuff and the whole desire to change the mindset of the general people, and it's really kind of sick, but it's the truth. We know that the Darwin theory is completely not true. Anyone who goes to biology school and learns about pieces of animals, and you start a veterinarian, any good vet who happens to have, I don't expect them to be doing all autopsies, but you'll work with enough animals that you can see their skeleton structure, can see that there's no way that such and such a ball joint changed. It didn't morph into something else. The only thing that really morphs are butterflies. Everything else, you can have a progression of things, but you don't all of a sudden have a redesigning of it. That's a different, it's either we all, if they want to go with the goo thing, we all started and we all went our separate ways. It wasn't a cat became a dog, became a bear, became a, none of that. It didn't go that way. It didn't happen.
What is also interesting, thank you for that, Angel, by the way. It's also interesting that skull they examined has 2 parietal plates instead of 3.
Yeah, it also has different sets of the way the rows of teeth are. I mean, it's a completely different animal.
And the brain volume is also 1,500 cubic centimeters, and the average brain now is 1,200 cubic centimeters. So it's about 300 cubic centimeters more than the average human nowadays. But it's also
Can I just say that Jay's joined us? Hi, Jay.
Hey, Jay.
Hello.
Hey, Jay.
Pleasure to be here. How y'all doing?
We're cool. Thanks very much, my darling. Artist, do you just want to very quickly recap what you've just been watching? Because obviously Jay hasn't seen it.
Well, basically,
Cool.
the Brian Forrester had the DNA results for the elongated skulls, and his views on it and the testing. But you have to watch it back to exactly say what he says. Otherwise, if I say it, I make a small mistake, maybe. So it's better.
What was it?
that you watch
I
it
missed
back.
the detail. You said Brian. I'm sorry. You said Brian Forrester. You got cut off. He said what roughly?
Well, in this video, he actually is about the DNA results from the elongated skulls.
Oh, okay.
From the
real, not fabricated out of plaster and clay or
the real.
plastic
Got you. The big ones like Akhenaten had a big head, right? Like those pharaohs.
type things.
Yeah, and also where they originated from, basically from the area between the Black Sea and the Caspian Sea, and then migrated to South America. They have now evidence, a lot of evidence that it happened in that fashion, and some measurements and some DNA testing, and But there'll be at the end, if you watch it back, he has a book that you can buy, so you can have all the details yourself. So you can do yourself just some reading and research and back history checking and everything. But I'm still in the process of finding out more. But it's a very slow process. Every process takes 5 or 10 years because they are not funded. The government always is working against you or wants papers and more papers or whatever. It's a very slow process. But I'm glad that after about, I think, almost 5 or 10 years, they finally had a lab that could do the testings for them. They want to be anonymous, I believe. And now they have the research, but they have to do some more research and checking the facts, of course. But it's interesting that we have had a migration, basically from area near to, basically near the Black Sea, and they migrated to South America. And they had light skin and probably reddish hair. They were around 6 foot. So that's interesting. That's basically the short version.
Well, it's interesting. I know a bit about Darwin and eugenics. I'm sure you all know about eugenics, the sterilization of inferior races that the Nazis got from actually an American thing. We were doing this. Margaret Sanger, Planned Parenthood, your abortion, that came from her, a eugenist. Winston Churchill,
People-minded eaters.
Yeah. These are the scientists that came in as Freemasons, as my man said very well. Skull and Bones, once again, all related, Brotherhood of Death, all this idea of you are not a star, you don't have anything to do with astrology, you're a monkey. I'm going to debunk that by showing this image. Do we all know what a lemniscate is? The lemniscate is a figure 8, yes or no? Right? It's a very important symbol. We know the sun makes a sine wave of the figure 8. Okay? Here's a picture of your meniscus. Can we all see this?
Yep.
Yeah, in the middle,
Yeah.
What shape is that? What shape is that in the middle right here? What would that be?
Figure 8.
A figure 8. Okay, so that's in your knee, okay? That's in your body. Your body is not shaped like one thing, a monkey, right? Right away, cave people. They want to compare us to cavemen could not do modulation. We form words. They didn't have, our bones don't relate to any of their bones. Their bones are huge compared to ours. And their skull, it's obvious that someone infiltrated to specifically stand in place and speak for human beings and then pretend to be vicars of the sun, science, vicars of entertainment. It goes on astrology. You get your Copernicus, who said a star didn't fall from the heavens. Venus never happened. The morning star is Venus. She's Lucifer. In etymology or Oxford Dictionary, Lucifer actually says morning star, Venus. We're done with this bullshit. Why is she mentioned in the Bible? The morning star, Christ says, I am the morning star, right? These things are all there. Hence the importance of understanding what astrology is. We can't let people stand in place. Once again, these are vicars, Darwin, scientist, Einstein, atomic bomb. What did that do? But he's a genius. Killed people. If anything has to kill somebody or turn them into an animal or hurt children or rape women or pit men against men, there's something wrong. This, survival of the fittest. Only the strong survive. Well, who's strong? I'm doing my thesis right now. I'm at page 17, 20 pages, and I'm at this section. The Hebrews version of Venus is Uzza, or star. Okay? In Islam, Al-Uzza is Venus. Uzza, same word, Uzza, or Allat was a feminine goddess before Allah. It is so silly how looking at a syllable can change the silly behavior that we have Darwinists confusing us and not looking at etymology and finding the goddess and where she's placed. Where did your Uzi come from? Your gun, your Uzi, came from Uzza. That's a goddess Venus. It's a star, right? So we can't get into that because we're monkeys. Monkey has Mon for the damn moon in it. Key is in monkey. Sumerians called Earth key. When you play your damn keys, simple. So when you're in school, you have organs. Back to the metaphors. You have organs. They're playing us. Survival of the fittest. You're a sinner. You're a cave beast. You need me to give you protein. Now eat this. Read this book, and then now you're gonna be pure. Yeah, I just wanted to chime in. I didn't want to hog the microphone, but Darwinism gets me excited because, wow, horrible.
No, thank you for that, Jay. I have also something else to show you. It's basically from a website. It's very interesting, and sad enough, the guy who made this site is not alive anymore. So that's a shame, because we wrote to them. Because I always ask the people if I can use their work before I show it. It's very important, otherwise you get a copyright strike or whatever. So we wrote to these people, and they said, well, you can use you can show our information. And this is basically near the Nazca lines. You have this in the, let's say it's carved into the mountains in some way. And actually, if you make a drawing of that, it shows like this. Probably seen this around. And it's very fascinating. You can go to this site. It is isidaproject.org. And then you can find these things they are trying to decipher, basically, and see what it fits on. It has a lot of chapters of all kinds of calculations and research they did on it. This is introduction, but then you have chapter 1, informative and semantic features, and then they explain the composition and everything, and how they it's all the steps in this composition, the shapes and everything, and they go further explaining everything. And I'm glad they agreed upon that we could use this and show it to the people. Also, it's of course it's a little bit of an presentation, so you know that they have this site with all this information. It saves you, of course, a lot of work yourself. So that's very interesting that on isidaproject.org you can find these calculations and the relations of these Nazca line shapes, and they are blueprints for probably pyramids and things on the Giza Plateau, and maybe even other ancient sites. That's very fascinating. I won't show all of it otherwise, but you can see there are a couple of chapters explaining their vision on how those lines and shapes are basically how you can put them on a pyramid or certain other structures. A lot of research, so very interesting. Another
If
thing
I could say one thing
to show is a map that I'm working on. So let's close this one down. Application window. What I found is basically this. Is also these are basically the Nazca lines. Only it's in China. China, you have also these cutouts in the rock. And this already, I thought, well, it already looks like a map, sort of. A little bit. If you look to your eye, the hairs of your eyes, you squint a little bit. Oh, it almost looks like a map. So I thought, well, people are putting stuff on maps. Let's put this one on a map. And what is very interesting in that the really ancient site, like the Giza Plateau, of course, over here in Egypt. I will zoom in if you can see it. It fits on those lines. This almost brushes this line. But yeah, who knows? Maybe those lines are exactly right, but the land masses, and this is just a map, so the actually size could be a little bit off, of course. So therefore, maybe all those points fit on there, but because the map they are drawn, hopefully, is not exactly right, so therefore this could be even over here and therefore fit exactly. Timbers in Spain, a
Artist,
very old ancient site.
someone in the chat rooms just said this is a road of a city made by the Chinese military to practice on.
Is that a fact?
I don't know. One man and his detector just put that in the chat room. Just saying.
Well, it's a very complicated practice road then. This
So
is
you
a
carry on.
This is a practice road. Okay, if you can give a link that actually have some backup research for that, I would surely like to see it. And if it's made by the military, maybe the military knows something that we don't know. So therefore, it maybe it's not only a practice road, but something else to practice on. Who knows? Huh? But it could be. But it's very interesting that all the points that are really ancient fit on there, like this one.
The
here.
physical scale of that on the surface, the military would not have gone crazy to make a straight line if it's just teaching how to drive and navigate places, because those are not natural. You wouldn't train on something that's not natural, number one. And well, that's just, it's not logical that they would make a military driving ground that's that perfectly aligned. The scale is huge. They would go around mountains and bumps and trees and things of that nature. They wouldn't have forged through like the Marines.
Yeah, because it's roughly 2 kilometers by 2 kilometers. So that's a very big training ground. With very in-depth, very odd roads. And here you can see it fits on Teotihuacan in Mexico, those pyramids. A lot of, well, let's say temples from the Maya civilization. Exactly over there. In Peru, Machu Picchu. In Tiwanaku, Peru, Pumapuncaburu, all fit on there. Easter Island fits on there. So that's interesting. And Devil's Tower fits on there. This strange cutout here in Canada fits on there. So that's also very interesting that fits on there. And if we go a little bit...
Just to say, Artist, he said he saw it on a television program a few years ago.
on the television. Okay. Cool.
Can I interrupt?
Well, they also see on the television.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, Astral.
What you just say? Instead of making a map with that's gonna, or instead of finding a map like what you found there, Artes. I know it's fun and everything, but how about just finding all of the sites, find all the sites, and then just line all the sites up, you know, like in the good old days, you know, and string, and then see what that leads to.
Well, it's just an idea, or I started basically by
sure.
making a map.
I'm not.
Of sites. See, these are the map with the sites.
I'm not mocking you or anything like that, Artes. I'm just saying that maybe it would be good to start with the points and then see where the points lead to, instead of finding something that we think the points indicate, or finding something that leads to the points, if you understand what I mean. The other way around. Turn it upside down.
Yeah, I started also with the points. I already had those points on the map. And then I found that thing in China, and I thought, well, let's paste it on there. And I was surprised how many points actually fitted on those lines.
Yeah.
And maybe it's wrong, could be. It's just an idea, of course. It's just an idea. And I'm working on it still, and I'll find more location. I just put, in my opinion, one of the older sites first, and then I'm gonna do sites that, in my vision, are newer, and also in history are written that are newer. So working with the older sites and then working back towards the newer sites, and let's then see how many fit on there, and then see if I change it around or turn it upside down, like you, for instance, said. It's also interesting. You can turn this one upside down, of course. Why should it be in this position? If you actually turn it upside down, let's put it on the point and turn it upside down. It's interesting that it still fits over here. These points fit still. It brushes this point. And a couple of points here in Peru and Bolivia still fit. The Giza Plateau still fits. This here in the Strange Earth Strike in India still fits. This one, this temple still fits. And Tirma still fits in Spain. And these two other lines fit. Only Devil Tower is not fitting, but this one in Canada also is still, yeah, it's brushing, but yeah, it could be all sometimes a little bit off, of course. But it's just interesting that if you turn it upside down or even turn it, let's turn it 90 degrees and see what's happened. Oh, I now turned everything 90 degrees. Sorry. Well, you get the idea. You have to actually rotate only the that thing, of course. Yeah. Well, still, these two fit. This is brushes. Well, yeah, it's just you have the edges of the line, so probably doesn't make sense. But just to show you, if you turn it and then you turn it back to original way I put it, and I'm just fiddling around with it. Maybe it's nothing, maybe it's something. You never know. And maybe indeed it's a very strange military training ground that would be one of the strangest in the world, of course, but who knows? Or it's used for something else we don't know about. But it's just, I want to put it out there that it's interesting that if you put it on a map, a lot of ancient sites fit on it. So that's basically what I want to show, and I'm working further on it. And after a while, we'll show you the process of that work. And also draw, like Astral presumed, draw some lines myself. And then let's see how they work. Or connect some points and see how they relate to each other, or the distance, or whatever. So that's basically the map I'm fiddling around with, just to see some ideas.
Yeah, it's all good. It's all good. Always.
Okay. If somebody has a question.
In the general vicinity that you got that from, are there other markings on the
Yeah. There is a map that looks a little bit like this, or there's the shape like this. Only it's blur. It's almost dissolved, say. So it's the same shape, but it's almost dissolved, and you have a strange rectangular square. I can go to maps and try to find that location for you real quick. If you want to. Then you can also see the surroundings. Maybe that's fun to do. Live research, like we always used to do. Wow.
Well, I'm just thinking that other markings in the area of it might give more clues, just like on the Nazca Plain itself. You know, just looking at one or two things, it's great to see, like, hey, they put a big, huge spider 6 miles by 6 miles in size. But when you actually look at all the other pieces and put them all together, it draws a really bigger picture. It's like a collage as opposed to just individual. It's just amazing.
How about laying this one over the Nazca and see what that does, you know? Or laying this over that Tycho Brahe's up on the moon. Maybe that might give something as well. Who knows? You know, I mean, you could put it on anything.
Is this something that's in the same category as like the phenomena of crop circles where they're finding patterns that come from some strange source? Is that what this is? I'm curious.
Apparently, it's a military training map or something.
But the ancient symbols that he had, was that a structure found in China that was sort of carved in there, like he had it? Is that what we're seeing?
It's found in China, yeah.
Okay, because it looks like stained.
Someone in the chat said that it's a military training map.
Right,
but how is it made?
You know? I don't know.
Is it still a mystery how it was formed? Is that what this is? Sort of, right or no?
I believe it is a mystery how it was formed. If it was a military training base, it wouldn't have perfectly straight lines like that. They would follow the contour of the land like a normal road does. It's
okay. Because before that, oh, sorry, go ahead.
It is very large in size.
2 by 2, isn't it?
2 kilometers by 2 kilometers, roughly.
Yeah, it's not that big, so a straight line, that's not a problem, man.
What I noticed before, the geometric patterns you had, Artes, you had they were forming an octagon, 8 sides, or the octahedron. The octagon is associated with Saturn. Saturn is known to have the 8, or Satan. At some point in the sky, he was known to be the dark sun, and he ruled the actual stars. It shifted, and I believe that could be formation that these orbs are doing, because Venus makes a 5-pointed pentagram around the sun every 8 years. She's doing this dance of geometry. So I'm wondering if that geometry you showed before these photos deals with the pathways, pardon me, of the stars, that they create art, for lack of a better word, and they mark these territories. Hence, animals mark their territory, right?
Well, this is actually this. You can see there's probably a river flowing through it. So they probably are not using it anymore. If it was, and the surroundings are this. There are no roads. To my knowledge, there are no roads to this area. So they have to fly to this area because I can't see any roads over here. Over here you have here you have a road to this area, and this is, I don't know what this is, but it's a rectangular space.
Even the military wouldn't make a road that long, that straight, unless it was a runway. And this is not like a runway airport. It's obviously art that was drawn onto the surface to be read and understood at a later time. At the time it makes sense to somebody, just like the Nazca lines. When you look at them, they really meant nothing to a lot of people until you actually look at them, and they're the freaking blueprints to the Giza pyramid complex. Or some of them are.
I like how he said that it's a design. It's a definite design. It's a creative energy. Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
It's a design, and just here you can see here is the road that goes to this facility. And you have this almost perfectly rectangular shape. It's a little bit higher than it is broad. And actually, if you slide a little bit to zoom out, probably here, this is actually probably maybe an airport or whatever.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. That's basically, but it's a long way from there to here. Eh? This is 2 kilometers, so this is 2, 4,
10.
6, 10-ish. So, and actually, here you have roads to the facility. Here you have roads going toward it. I don't see any roads going towards this, so it's strange.
Is that really an airport, or are you sure it's just not more art?
Well, this could be more art, of course, because I don't know for sure what this is. See, but you can see this is, yeah. What's strange about this is that actually you can see there's a lot of probably water. Here you can see something, I don't know, they're excavating something here maybe. But there's a road actually here. There's a road to this.
Yeah, but that doesn't look really current unless it's a building. Is that a really big building?
No, it looks to me that they are digging into the ground crowd. You can see here they are digging out something. This could be an old building, maybe, over here. But this is just digging into the rock or sand or whatever. See, because you can see they are. It looks like that they are excavating the site. I've seen a lot of excavation site, and this looks a lot like an excavation site. Here you have some type of tower. You see, very high tower, electrical tower. Or,
What's the really long thing, the thing with the funky shape? Is that just a bunch of rock, or is that a huge building? That's like a, because it's not a runway or something. There's like cracks.
Where? Where did
That,
you
the
this
the
one?
biggest thing you see in the picture.
This.
The 11 on its side. The thing that's to the right of the picture right now. The huge marking that's that right there. But you're staring at the top of it.
This angel.
No, zoom out a little bit.
This.
Go out, yeah, go up.
You see the 11 on its side? That it's the D shape. I mean, what is that? Is that a flat field? Is that a big rock structure? I mean, it's huge.
Yeah. I don't know.
There's
It's hard to
3
see actually.
bunkers or something there. Can you see them?
These 3.
Go back again, Artes. Closer.
Zoom in that.
All right, you go there. So you've got 3. There's 3. They almost look like bunkers. I can see to the right of each of them. There's like it looks like. I'm not saying that it is, but it looks like, yeah, exactly. Like you can go in there. It's going down. You can see the shadow on it.
Yeah.
That's a building going. That's an underground something or other. And there's 3 of them.
Yeah. I'll come.
That's real shit, man.
This could be also a 1, 2, 3, 4. 3 each other.
I can see 3 right now.
This is actually. This looks like an airport, maybe. Whatever.
What is it though? Because it's absolutely huge.
Here you have actually a facility. Maybe if I click on it, what does it say? No idea. Most of the time you click on it, it says airport, if it is an airport, actually. Nothing. And it's also in the middle of the... It's very isolated. If you see here, there's nothing around. And here's another one.
Find it that it's a strange shape. Yeah.
Here, here's another one. Okay. So there's not 1, there are 2. Maybe more, but I just found this one and this one and those things in between. And, well, for the rest, I can't see any other things, but these are there. And, well, the nearest city is over here, but that's a long way away, of course. It's, this is 10 kilometers, 10, 20, 30, 40, 60, 70 kilometers from the nearest city. It's not a very big city. Well, okay. Dunyang is near there. That's interesting. Now you can see where it's located, of course. If people want to find it for themselves, they now know where it is. And I can't see any roads
Oh,
towards
it's
this.
elevated.
There's no, I can't see any roads. There's a road to this side, but here there are no roads.
But that box there to the left of what the pattern thing is, that box, what is that?
I don't know. I can zoom in on it.
Okay, walking because it's military somewhere or what? It's something here now.
It's very the cardinal directions are very straight. See, because this is actually north-south. And if I put it here against this and against the top of my screen, it's almost perfectly, well, the bottom is a little bit off. The rest is very, wow, it is very, and then you have to imagine that the estimate size, this is 2 kilometers, so you have 1 kilometer by 1 kilometer, and it's very square corners, and very.
Where is it exactly in China? Can you zoom out a little bit just so we have a bit of a better idea?
Yeah, you can see the red marker. It's completely. Yeah, this is China, Mongolia. So you now roughly know where it's at.
A big lake there to the left.
Here. Oh, to the left here. Oh, that's far away.
No.
Oh, over here. You mean over here? Oh, that looks more like a building.
No, it wasn't that. It's something else, but it's not a lake. I can see it ain't a lake. So.
Oh no, it's something to do with water or something. This was some sort of facility, but Luke North filling station. Okay. Whatever. Looks like it's
got to produce all the chemtrails for the rest of Western civilization.
Who knows?
That's how they made them, man. Big tanks full of everything, something blue.
Oh, now you have an idea. I closed this one down because it's lagging a bit for my computer. Otherwise, I hear bzzz all the time. Probably also hear bzzz for my computer. If somebody in the chat has another idea, you're always open to listen to ideas, of course. Oh, and the people in the chat also said that it was hard to hear Astro talk. But
I've actually turned Astral up now, but he was okay. But the last time he spoke, he was a little bit quiet, so I've turned his microphone up. Say something, Astral.
How am I now? I'm too quiet, aren't I? I can't find my headphones. I've got some fucking.
I've turned him up now.
And they're no good.
That's better
You're
now.
right. You're all right now because I've turned you up full.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I could do
so these are basically some things I was researching and looking at the last couple of weeks.
It is quite amazing, though, that if, say, it was what the other person said it was, it fits quite neatly over, and all these things are right there in the middle of these lines. Artist.
Mm-hmm.
I said, you heard me.
No, it was I didn't hear anything. Only the artist. And then
I said
before.
if it was what the other person said, it's quite amazing that when you put it over the earth, that it fits so many of the pyramids and ancient structures and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing that it fits so well. And also, to my knowledge, the most ancient structures, so the oldest structures fit on there. And if you do, you have old sites, ancient sites that are not that old as that I put on there, they don't fit or just a little bit off. So the real older sites on the earth, and to my knowledge, that's steamers in Spain. On some locations like Pumapunku in Bolivia and other sites near Pumapunku fit on there, and they're really old. The Giza Plateau fits on there, and some sites near the Giza Plateau, of course. So the real ancient sites, the most ancient sites to my knowledge on the world, fit on there. And some
Kind of looks like
articles, of course.
not the energy lines. What is it? The way lines. That's what it looks like. A map of way lines or energy lines.
That could be. I don't know, but it's a possibility indeed. Yeah. But it's just an idea. I don't state that it's a fact. It's just an idea.
I'll tell you what, artists, we can do this thing that we did yesterday. We were having a little group private hangout, which we sometimes do with just some of the members of Sun and Moon on days off. And we're all sitting there. Does anybody in the chat room remember a singer from ABBA dying a few years ago? Just random question here, because this is to do with the Mandela thing. It'll take a few minutes for the chat room to catch up. It's just that we remember one of them dying. It was on the television. It was on the news.
Well, I remember, and also Astro and Karen remembered in the fashion that one of the singers, woman singers, died about 3 or 4 years ago. And all the members are still alive if you look it up on Wikipedia now. So
there you go. Marilyn said yes, the brunette girl. That's Frida.
Yeah, indeed. That's I on purpose didn't say
yes. Man and his detector says yes. Trouble about says what? No, ABBA member died ever. She says no, but over here,
yeah.
It was even on the news.
A harsh truth engineer also said 5 years ago.
Harsh truth engineer says, yeah, one of them died about 5 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not true. They're all still alive.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was fascinating, and maybe some people remember it and some people don't remember it because maybe they had a different timeline that fused together with another timeline. Just a possibility. And therefore, some people remember it in that fashion, and some people don't remember it in that fashion because they are fiddling around with some stuff. Two separate timelines actually fused together. Or there's some two timelines, separate timelines could fuse together for some reason, and that's maybe why some people remember it in another fashion.
See, I didn't say which one it was. And Marilyn, who lives in the UK, she said, yeah, the dark-haired one, which is Frida. And that's the one I said. But it's not true.
That's the one everybody said. I also said the dark one and extra low. So, and a couple of people who were there. Yeah. And it's interesting that they remember
we
it
don't
in the
remember
same
hearing
fashion.
Frida had died. Oh dear, that's a mistake. She didn't die.
I don't know.
And then the other day it was a bit like, oh, and there's nothing in anywhere to say mistake, Frida didn't die. Nothing. There's nothing about nothing.
Mm-hmm.
That's all a bit crazy. So I mean, maybe that's what my point is. Maybe that's what they've done with the history. They tell you one thing just so that you go, oh, it was a town, or that's a map for something else. When really it's not. It's something completely different, and they don't want us to find the truth out, do they?
Yeah.
They work really hard to make sure we don't find the truth.
It also depends on where you live, of course, what kind of news you get. I know there was documentary about 9/11, and all the people in New York every day they remember it, and it was on the news very long that when the day it happened. And actually, if you go to the small village in California, it was only 15 minutes on the news, and that was it. So it depends on where you live, how they report certain things. And sometimes, if it's in your local area, it's weeks in the news. But if you actually live in another country, they only brush it for 10 minutes or 15 minutes, and then they go to another subject. So, yeah, if you hear that, sometimes it's. For instance, when James Brown died, it was 10 minutes in the German news. 10 minutes, that was it. Only the 8 o'clock news. And that was it. And there was never mentioned it again. So if you did that day, didn't watch the news, you probably never knew that James Brown died. But in America, it was an all over the news. And it was a whole benefit concert and everything surrounding that for a couple of days. But here in Germany, I only mentioned it for maybe not even 10 minutes in the news, probably even 10 seconds, probably more or less. And that depends on where you live, in which country. Yeah, that depends on how they bring the news. Most of the
I think a couple of more people in the chat room are saying that they also felt that the dark-haired one had died. I mean, Jay probably won't remember it. He's too young. We're talking of ABBA. Do you know who ABBA are, Jay?
Yeah, I know Abracadabra as well, and Yabba Dabba Doo, the Flintstones. Yeah. Oh yeah, I'm familiar. Yeah. I'm talking about like the whole idea of playing characters. Tupac's last album was Machiavelli. Okay, the 7-Day Theories. Machiavelli apparently faked chaos. They like to act and fake things and be. Right now, talk about what transvestite relates to. Okay, so transvestite, and if you
Jay, you're breaking up a little bit. You might have to turn your camera off. You're just breaking up.
My camera?
Bit. Yeah, just turn your camera off for a bit.
I don't know how that works. I'm sorry. I'm in the middle of doing something. So what should I do?
It's now fine for some reason.
Fine now, but you were just breaking up. Okay, go for it.
Okay. All right. So sorry, I'm trying to find my place here with what I was trying to say. Eonism. Okay. Do you see Eonism? E-O. Chevalier Charles Dion. Eonism. Okay. He was a famous French Freemason. They sent him out. He came back as a woman, okay, a cross-dresser. Eonism relates to Captain EO, Michael Jackson, Disney World. Okay, so these are all rituals that these people do. Even in music, there's a God, the Hebrew word for God. This is Venus. It's not a coincidence. So his death, any death where you've got a name like that, Abba, Abracadabra, those are rituals. So I don't know about ABBA specifically, but there's a pattern in acting, pretending, faking things. Apparently Tupac's still alive. His name is Duality, Two Bull. So there's a lot going on with the Mandela thing. I'm not surprised. A great way for mind control. They're also changing the movies and their lines. Like originally it was Luke, I'm your father. And they changed it to I'm the father or something, like they're adding syllables to then change what it originally was. That's interesting. Mandela effect. So they're using movies as rituals to like give you a certain understanding of something that was stolen from astrology. And then they fuck with your head and they pretend to do things and shift it around. So like what Karen was saying, you can never make conclusions. That's why we had theorists. It came from the order of chaos. Order through chaos is the Freemasons thing. What is chaos? Theory, guessing, not knowing. 1 minute it was a goat, now it's a chicken. Sodium fluoride. Calcium fluoride is healthy. Sodium fluoride is not healthy. You see how they flip it? They constantly take good things and they flip it for you to have a hard time with your health. And entertainment-wise, music, yeah, I'm hearing this. But really, these are vicars of God doing rituals. Makes fusion of today. Hence why we never come to conclusions. Khan means serpent, by the way. Showed you your meniscus. We move like serpents. We must be wise as who? Serpents. We're dealing with a brain that plays games and dances and makes things happen through art in heaven. They know how to manipulate. They're very good at it. Sorry, I leave it open. I don't want to be long-winded. Sorry.
Just say that ABBA won the Eurovision Song Contest. Oh, I don't know. Is it late 70s? With the song Waterloo. I knew they were going to win.
It was a battle of Waterloo.
6 times or something.
Yeah.
Napoleon. That's a shout. Has to be something in there.
Yeah.
Waterloo.
Waterloo, baby.
On the wall.
They had
Yeah,
like-
he knows that one. I'm not
They had
singing.
like 10 albums.
But yeah,
And
they
they all-
won with that, and then they became a very famous band. And like, oh, I've been
And
to
all
weddings
the
where
albums
they
have really cool names.
What do you say, Angel?
I have a bunch of their MP3s.
but
I
do
didn't-
you?
I never heard that any of them died, but then again, I've stopped watching news and stuff like that a long time ago.
One of their songs
Hallelujah.
was money,
Yeah, but can I
money,
just
money.
say something that I find very, very strange? We were talking yesterday. I was talking with Karen and Artis and Yudit and whatever, you know. And I just came with the thought: is someone from ABBA died or what? And we all said, yeah, possibly, you know. And funnily enough, I looked straight away to see if anyone was dead. And strangely enough, the day before, there was a fake news that one was dead. The day before. And I'm like, what? Okay, but they're all alive anyway. But it's just weird that the day before, fake news, you know? That's just some strange shit, man. What's going on?
Mind control. Yeah. Totally.
Yeah, but I
Just to
want
say
to control
we've
my
lost
mind.
artists. We've lost artists, and I don't know where he is. Come back, artists.
You know, in Freemasonry, you have to pretend to die when they initiate. They get the sword to the heart. They have to blindfold their asses and fall into a coffin. They have to swear on their death. So think about, like, okay, if I'm going to do that as an actor or someone choreographing the moves for me, I'm faking a death in order to be in something that's a part of a death cult, Skull and Bones. So it's going to be in music, science, religion, agriculture, all of their influences. They do it. They pretend, and they tell you, oh, this is that. And the next thing you know, it changes. Go ahead, Angel.
Not quite as simple as just you're faking your death. While you're lying there in the coffin, they're relieving themselves onto you while you're
Yeah,
lying
no, I
there.
don't mean it to be simple. Yeah, I'm just saying.
What?
No, yeah, you're
What? Angel, what?
He made a joke. It was good.
No, there's
good.
no joke. The half a dozen guys that are standing around you, initiating you, they're relieving themselves on you. And depending on
I mean, in a joking manner. Yeah, truth. They do that. He's right. They do nude things. They have sexual things, homosexual acts. They do. Yep.
Is this something you know or not? Because
I'm sorry?
I don't think you know. Angel.
okay, I
I've
don't
not
know.
heard anything like that, man.
Okay.
I wouldn't be surprised.
They're supposed to
I mean, it's
embarrass you to the most possible.
He's right. Listen, in satanic worship, they make you drink your urine as well and eat your shit. Illuminati mind control.
All the above, and it's something to hold over your head. Like, if you don't do what they want, hey, we'll tell them what you did to get into this group. Oh, no, don't do that. My wife would be ashamed of me.
He's right. Yeah, man, it's true. That's exactly how they get them. Yep, and it's very powerful. They actually definitely do that, man. And in Skull and Bones, man, it's really gross. I mean, they have to be in a coffin. Just think about this: naked. It's actual ritual. I read Skull and Bones, the book. Anthony C. Sutton, really good book, because he breaks down all the names in history that relate to that damn movement of death. Talks about how they are naked in coffins. They have to roll around in mud naked. They have to talk about their sexual experiences in a coffin naked around men who are perfectly what? So if we're doing that with skulls around us, yeah, urine's going to be in there. Blood's going to be in there. Pedophilia will have to come. Makes sense. Rituals. Yeah. These are disgusting people. And they do these
spells. They just obviously don't realise the spells they're weaving.
They don't. Yeah, you're right. Some of them are very, you're right. And they join these cults. You're right. They think it's normal. Okay, fraternities, Greek. Anyone who's black and is into black power, so-called, and does the Greek thing, you're doing the opposite. You're doing the divider, the Greek way, not hating on all Greeks, but that pyramid, that Egyptian understanding from the Greeks is exactly what acting is. This whole idea of using art, pretending to be something that we are not. And so then now you're signing yourself onto something where you have to do these rituals. You have to kill somebody, maybe. Ooh, do something kind of gross. Why are all these celebrities having random deaths in their families? Random. Jennifer Hudson's whole entire family dead after she wins her Grammy and her Oscar. Entire family just wiped out. I find that interesting. After she's this big thing. Jennifer Hudson, she was the, pardon me, she's a famous singer. She was in Dreamgirls. She won the Oscar, black singer.
Can I just say something,
Jay?
Can I just say, I've got family members who are in it, right? Obviously, we know what it all means now, but they didn't join it for that, did they? They were joining, well, it's not quite a party, is it? But in their world, it was like, oh, I need to be a Mason because that means I'm a real man or whatever it is. That means I'm in the group, I'm in the clink, I'm in the whatever you want to call it. So that's why they joined it, but they obviously don't realise what they joined.
Yes. You know, it's the committee of 300. Research that group. Why is it 300? Why is it 3? Why is it Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva? Why is it Bel, Taran, and Isu in the Druid culture? Right? Why is it the Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit numbers? Right? Yeah, they join these things. They don't realize that they're a part of something that is using numerology and ancient wisdom against them. So that when they say hallelujah or amen or anything in Latin, whatever they're doing, the vibration is satanic. It is inverted. It is the opposite of ascension, which is what our bodies are built as. Our points go up. We don't have that inverted Baphomet thing, which is the goat. I want to actually insert here. If you know what that inverted goat of Baphomet is, it's a symbol of the Templar Knights. It's Capricorn, the goat. We have a goatee. Look at my goatee. It makes 5 points. It's simply the inverted pentagram of your mouth. Your mouth, if you know who Baphomet is, research the goat, the inverted pentagram. Your goatee is God, is Gothic. We speak with the goat mouth. So we don't know that we have a goat. We're kids, baby goats. We act as animals spiritually. They're in us. So when we join things and we're not educated, right, about what animals or beasts are controlling them, we can be manipulated like animals because they're a part of our astrology. When you kill a bull, a Taurus, if you're a Taurus or if you have a Taurus in you at all, that affects you. Has to. It's a bull. Simple. It goes on and on and on and on. You kill a crab, whatever. Nothing against people who eat fish. I would imagine Cancer is a crab or a scarab beetle. Why? There's things happening. So be careful with your secret societies. Not judging at all. I mean, there's good Freemasons out there. Yeah, I'm sure.
Good. Why is it secret? You know, if it was that good, it wouldn't be secret, would it?
Right. Yeah, you're right. There's no need to take the sacred feminine secretions is what secret means. The book, The Secret. Why is there a red dot on The Secret book? That famous book. It's a symbol of the period blood of the goddess. They use the female, FEMA concentration camps, females. They understand the energy, right? They understand what estrogen does. Yeah? Ethyl alcohol, ethyl ethanol, ethyl ether, the Ethernet. So everything that we're doing right now is a ritual. It's a vibration. So if you and I, all of us, if we're at all disconnected at all, if we fight, right, we're doing exactly what these demons want right away. Even the people who are flat earthers are now they're great. It's a very hard element to control. Anger. They're very good. They, meaning demons, are good with trigger buttons. Why is it a trigger word? Why, if I'm an addict, there are trigger words. Trigger words? Is my brain at all related to a weapon? Phalanges means a military division. Military holds weapons. Weapons is the word we are pawns. This is for all of you out there. This is how awesome you are. Weapons is we are pawns means bridge of asses in your brain. Ice-T had a song called The Lethal Weapon is My Mind. Years ago, the lethal weapon is the pawns. They get into your temple. So when you're in a secret society, you're in someone's temple. A real temple where they're doing the Mickey Mouse thing. Oh, go to Egypt and Las Vegas where they have every indigenous symbol. There's a whole part of, of Disney World where you can see China and Africa, right? Acting, rituals. It's a performance. We need to perform something, y'all. We need to perform something. It has to be a performance. Whatever you are good at, we have to perform it the same way these societies do. They work all the time, man. They don't have to research anymore. You want to know why? They know the truth. They know the earth is flat. They know the science to hurt us. That's why we are all mind controlled so badly, and only a few of us know the truth or care because they know everything. They don't have to debate and debunk themselves. They eat each other, but they will never debunk each other. They're not going to sit there, well, no, they know how to do the rituals. They know astrology. It's simple, right? That's it. They know what they're doing. So we have to know what we are. So important. Yeah. Flat Earth. Information about that is very important to be grounded. So we're not bouncing bouncing ball. Your eyes just doing this. What would that be too? Your heartbeat? Beep, beep, beep. You see what they do? Even in cartoon, that's your heartbeat, man. They're following your energy. They're watching and using your body against you. Your organs were the first theater. They can't play us. I play my damn organs. You play your own organ. A secret society can't play my organ the way I play mine. I can't play yours the way you play yours. Are we playing our organs? Or are we clogging them with more data, right? Oh, I got so much information. I'm going to show you. Fuck that. I don't need to see shit. Help me. Help me.
Jay.
There's no need to show me nothing no more. Yeah.
You know the story of the Tower of Babel?
Yes. Yes.
Well, that's why I love what you're kind of giving us knowledge on, because in a sense it's like breaking that down. We all had one language to start, and now we're many languages. And this is why I've been researching for all my life practically. I've seen so many connections with languages and things and words and this, that, and objects. And it's like, well, everything's related. Everything is related. And we're kind of remembering that everything is related. That's why I love hearing you and Santos, because you can get those words, make the connections, and it's like, ka-ching, oh yeah, that makes sense, man. Love it. You carry on, brother. I love it.
Hey, man, thank you. I love you too. I'm grateful that you mentioned the Tower of Babel, because that's an important symbol. We have to understand that it's not just a concept that some man made. Cybele, Cybele, okay? It's a badass goddess. Google what she looks like, and I tell you, then tell me, would you fuck with her? Look at Cybele. She's known to build towers. Cybele has bull. This is Taurus and the female Venus dancing together again, somehow showing you who's building, who's doing that sacred geometry in the earth, who's what Artes showed, right? Why all these strange occurrences of things that are just, little ley lines, laying. I'm going to lay Lakshmi, the Hindu goddess. What are they doing up there? There's a lot of stuff that they're doing. There's a lot of beautiful things. The Tower of Babel was built by Venus, and the Babylonians knew that. And they were using her energy against the people back then. They started losing their way around that time. They literalized the Bible. They turned the goddess into a statue. Very simple. They turned Christ into a statue. They turned all of them into stone statues. And if you did not do there you go. There you go. So, right. There you go. Right. They made it so now you must pray to this thing if you want to go somewhere in life. After Venus's creation, remember that she's the fifth element. That's why ballet was made. It gives you the fifth position in ballet for a reason. It's not just positive stuff in ballet. These Freemasons had to hide their little information into art in heaven. Hi, artist Sarasvati, once again. Venus. Men hate the idea of her. I try to bring her up at university, and it's like, the name itself makes them uncomfortable because she's Venetian. She's venereal, vernacular. How many more? She rules your veins. She's an anagram for your veins. Your veins are green and blue. Who rules green? Venus does. She's emerald. Done. Now that you know that, what are you doing with your star energy, right? Are you eating star burst? Are your stars being bursted into the towers of Babel, where they babble and talk shit about what God should be? Because now God is me. Now confess to me. James 5:16 says, confess to another. James 5:16 says, confess to another in the Bible. But yet somehow now, I'm just confessing to the Pope, but he's not telling me about what he's doing. What's that about? Why did it change during Babylon, right? Something changed. Yeah. It was the female. She's the one that showed man what's going on. And man was like, fuck that. No, penis, phallic symbol, obelisk of Osiris, Freemasonry, iron fist of Mars, which is also a female. Mary, Mars, the blood of the woman. How do you think Mars gets his shit done? The moons, every orb has some moon. There's blood moons, right? Why are there blood moons? Ask that. I mean, I don't really know, but that's deep. A super moon? What does that mean? I just saw one recently. I stared at it for 10 minutes in yoga. You should do that with the moon. Stare at it without blinking. And when you cry, the rays of the moonlight clean you because you're looking at yourself. We don't look at the moon or the sun a lot. It can be dangerous sometimes, but if you know what you're doing, I shit you not, you're supposed to do it. You're looking at yourself. It's the best way to get flat earth research is to see what the sun's doing. It's arcing. I mean, how many symbols of arcing do we have? I mean, we play tennis like this. It goes over and over. Basketball is side to side, arcing balls on a flat plane. And they show you circular shapes on the basketball court. They show this. They show a rim with a square. Maybe there's more going on. If the earth is a ball, here's a very good one to ask everyone with the ball theory. Why then in geometry is she a cube? The cube is not a ball. Let's start with that first damn element, which no one wants to talk about. All the elements, oh God, no, that's nature. Just let's talk about why the earth is a cube, damn it. Why earth in etymology relates to tellurian and earth, a dice board? Why? That's how you get to the answers. There's so many people that complicate it and give you a better version of what it is. And then you'll, oh shit, what side do I pick? Even flat earth people are battling flat earth people and battling flat earth. And then the ball people are battling other ballers. No, simple. Why is the earth a cube in geometry? Now we can go from there. It's a fact. The earth is playing with these orbs and they're rounding off her edges. What was Artes showing? Look at this. It's a very clear symbol, y'all. The orbs do this. Triangles, bam, Star of David. We're done. Artes showed that. We know this. Geometry, they're making the shapes. So if the earth is a cube, in geometry, it would make sense that there are other elements that are rounding her off, not balling her. Circling around her, keeping her in a shape. Hence, we stay in damn shape. Go ahead, man. Yeah, go ahead.
No, it doesn't matter.
Plus, you have something to say. No, I just wanted to bring it to flat Earth.
You were talking about circling, and I had a thought in my head. Perambulation.
Go ahead.
Perambulation. That's like, what is that? Walk? But that's not circling. That's walking, isn't it? When you perambulate. That's where the word
You mean when
pram
you're
comes from. Like a pram. When you push a pram. I don't know.
I've never heard of pram. What's a pram? No, go ahead. No,
Pram
you're
is a
teaching me.
buggy.
What's
A pram is a buggy for a baby, isn't it? You know, whatever you call it in America. I
oh,
don't
the
know.
stroller.
Stroller, yeah.
A stroller?
Whatever. But a
Okay.
pram. And the word pram comes from perambulate, which means to walk. I think. Don't. You can shoot me now if I'm wrong. Sorry. Anyone in the chat who knows better, I don't know, but I presume. I was thinking
No, you're right.
circling and perambulating. Perambulating. It just came in my head. Sorry, Jay. You carry on. I love you. I love hearing you, man. Carry on.
No.
You
Say
go on.
that Artist is
Go ahead,
back. Artist
Hi,
is
Artist.
back. I just
Yes,
say
the man, the
Artist
myth, the
lost-
legend.
lost Artist,
Artist.
and now I'm back. He had a bit of a problem there. Artist.
Yeah, my computer froze for no reason. I don't know what they are doing to the internet, but everything froze. I had to restart my computer.
Well, I'm glad you're back, man.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, glad to be back, of course, with those great people on this hangout.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, we're making a lot of connections, talking about strollers and the idea of the stroller and the path energies around the earth as a cube. And I mean, how could it be a globe when she's a very specific square type energy that probably gets impregnated by other energies that round her off? Hence, we pay pounds in England, pounds inflating. What inflates things? Atomic energy inflates. It has crosses and it has 6 points. The first dimension is the atom. Second dimension is a crucifix. The third dimension of the material world has 6 points. So something is going on from these symbols where things swell, but there has to be a board, a dice board, Tellurian, Earth. There needs to be a board in order for you to have a faculty. There needs to be a board in order for you to jump off of to swim. And there needs to be a board in order for you to not like what I'm saying or be interested at all. There has to be a board, right? A board or a table of contents. A table of contents? Plateau means a table. Why are they talking about tables of contents? Because the earth is a table of content. Tent, the dome, an aha moment. 10 means to stretch. It's the Fibonacci spiral. When you make 6 figures, that's your father figure. This is our figure. This is not a bad logo. The Illuminati doesn't own this, by the way. This is our 6th chakra. This is what the figure of humanity is. It's the figure of Venus, 666. It's the egg, the belly, and that little stream is her giving birth, the man, the line. Done. That's simple. That should bring man, woman together in science. But what it does is it sort of, well, no, we know it as man is a monkey. And, you know, in the Bible, the Babylonians built this tower and they hated gay people and black people did this and women were known to, what the hell are you talking about? What? Who? When? Right? Like I didn't come out of my mother's womb with a diploma, a gun, and a briefcase.
What do
Came
you
out naked
make
and
about
throwing
all the stuff that Artist was talking about with the skulls and that, and you know, like the fact that obviously what the connection was that people were in America before. Like there are native, like the Native Americans, there was loads of them all there years before they said in our history books.
Well, the Native Americans speak of a race, Los Angeles, meaning the lost angels. The Native Americans speak of a race that lived under the earth and they saw these people. Yeah. I mean, that I got from Michael Tessarion's work, another interesting truther if you're interested in Tessarion. It's Tsarion, Michael.
Well,
interesting stuff.
It fits exactly what Brian Foster was telling, because those people who went from the area between near the area of the Black Sea, went to South America, they had lighter skin. And therefore, they probably also lived underground. there are a lot of clues that they lived underground. So that also fits the narrative you were talking about.
Yeah, man, it's syncretism, right? That's why I'm really into syncretism, and there's so much information out there, but you can read less and get more from taking the relating bits. Don't read everything; your brain will get too full. Get the similar, see the numbers, see the events, see serpents. You'll see serpents and bulls in all the mythology, all of them. There are so many different kinds of serpents and bulls, different kinds of torus fields, different kinds of sine waves. What does that mean? Sine wave means the serpent. It's the same word. Hence, you're a sinner. You are a sinner. You've signed your name in cursive. You're looping like lupus, which is Venus. We're always doing what she does. So if we're not hip to her hop, let me say it again. If you're not hip to her hop, you will not understand the muse. In music, she is the amusement park you go to. She's your music.
You mentioned lupus there. I have a friend that's got lupus, and they specifically told her not to go and sit in the sun. And it's the very thing she should be doing.
Yeah.
Wow. Well,
because she's been taught that, it doesn't matter how many times I tell her, no, it's not that she needs to be sitting in the sun all day long, but 10, 15 minutes a day would help wonders with her lupus. They've told her not to go and sit in the sun, so she's not going to listen to me.
Well, they want her to get medicated. They want, first of all, why do they call it lupus? Let's go right into it. Why do they call it the damn... Go ahead.
They have to give her drugs, right, that she can only take cancer drugs and AIDS drugs because they haven't got anything for lupus, and those are the closest they can get, and they have such horrible side effects to them. She doesn't really want to take them, but yes. I mean, she's already had a mini heart attack.
That's horrible.
She's only just 40. Well, she's already had mini heart attacks. She's had water on the brain, and the thing is that you know, imagine giving her what did I say, cancer drugs and the other one, you know, they're horrible drugs.
Yep, you're right. Yeah, and they make you sicker.
Side effects.
Yeah, and not go and sit in the sun.
I'm just curious to know, why are they using astrological, like cancer is a sign, right? That's the biggest sickness. And they have lupus, a constellation. So I'm just going to ask, maybe these individuals know a thing or two about about torus fields and the stars and how they directly affect us and the things to put in our food, in our schools, in our music, in our dances, right? So that we grow up thinking one way. That's their version of universal God, universe. Catholicism, one God. It's about being one dumbass way. No, we are from one source. Go ahead.
Common Core education.
Yep.
Yeah, I also just I had my Google Maps on still. There's near that location is completely something different. You know this location what I showed, and then when you go to the left, I hope I can find it again. Yeah, here. There's also something strange. 1, 2, 3 airplanes with see, it's like an those old plates you can put in an some kind of record player. So those discs with those holes in there.
Yeah.
See? That makes sound.
And that's old, artist. Do you reckon that's really old? Like, is that a big stone circle or something?
I don't know, but there are airplanes here, or things that look like airplanes. It looks like an old. You had those metal discs. And you can put them in some type of playing device, and then it rotates and it makes music.
Twang, 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 twang.
Indeed.
I'm just going to ask, the size of those, are they true to life, or are they not oversized? Those 3 planes there.
Ooh, I don't know. They are not that small, of course. If they are planes, we don't know. It's strange how could those plates take off because you have all those blocks around it.
Can you
They will
zoom
be
in,
able-
Artie? Can you zoom in anymore?
No, I'm zoomed out, maxed out.
I've seen this before. I've seen this talked about. It's interesting, the designs.
Yeah.
It gives away an interesting secret.
Yeah, because I don't know. I just want to mention it that there's also not actually a road going to it. Well, maybe this is a sand road a bit, but and it's in the middle of an here. Oh, the sound is just now so. You see there's something like maybe a bit like a crater shape. I don't know. It's interesting that it's close to that other area. You just go a little bit like this. Rest. Let's see if I actually live research. If I actually go right to the right. Hey. Right to the right. Oh, road. This is actually a road. Oh, here. It's another one. Yay. Right, right.
You just found another one of those maps, Artis.
Yeah. There's another one. Another one. Without any road going to it.
Can I ask you something? Have you seen what it's sitting in? It's like all those lines. You don't think they've drawn them over the top of the lines, like the roots in the land? Do you see? Around it, there's all the lines on the ground. You don't think they've just... Yeah. You don't think they've just sort of...
The lines are this follows a little bit that line, but most of the lines, maybe a bit. Again, it's roughly 2 kilometers by 1.5 kilometers, so it's still very big. But
live researching.
If you zoom in, I don't know.
Oh, you can zoom in much better to that one than the other one, then.
Yeah, there are some tire tracks on there, if they are tire tracks. Actually don't do drift on the lines because this tire track just goes randomly through everything.
Jay, also, Artis has found this wall that's appearing. Like, he hasn't got to the end of it, but he's found this wall. So it's not just in China, it goes across other places. He's found it in Europe. He's found it all over the place. This wall, which seemed to sort of divide us.
It's interesting.
Actually, I can show you, Jay, where the wall starts. It's called a Cyclopedian wall by the Cyclops. There are stories that the giant Cyclops made this one. Actually, the wall goes from here to here to here.
Oh, of course, it'd be in Turkey, Taurus. Yeah, I totally get it. That's where Islam was supposedly, all these religions come from all these areas, all these, controlled religions now.
So basically, and I found the small parts over here. That's maybe another part.
Of course, Africa. Yeah, makes sense.
Just bits and pieces. They're not really connected anymore. Bits and pieces. It basically starts on this island. The first wall on this island. Of Kefalonia. Maybe you can even zoom in that you can have to do this. There is a wall somewhere, but it's very hard to find. But basically, the wall runs over the island, so it runs in this direction. So. And then it actually goes further over here. And it's called, actually, if you type it on the internet, Cyclopedian wall, you will find bits and pieces of it in Greece and in Turkey and further near Syria.
In this book that Santos has recommended, I recommend the Two Babylons for everyone to read it. It talks about the wall that you're talking about. Specifically, it mentions the goddess Sybil or Semiramis, the Tower of Babel. During that, very important, they were building things to, like what Karen said, to divide. Okay, the race, the Hyksos, research Hyksos, Hebrew, Hud, these terms, not talking about a religion, the name, interesting. Something happened and the builder of towers was born. Now we have something called Walcart or Karth. Walcarth? Relates to Babylon. We have Walmart today. You know, it's that you can't make it up. If you don't read these books and get into astrology or the old goddesses and their symbols on their heads, what Artes is showing, it'd be hard to make the connections because it's really good to see it because then it's actually solidifying my research in terms of they're using energies from the orbs to build things and to physically manipulate humankind from the Earth's energy because the body is Earth. All of it's connected. Whatever they build, they meaning the forces, whatever they create directly affects you whether you like it or not. So if you're turning a blind eye to it, if you're like, that doesn't affect me, think again. It does on the spiritual realm, which is evil, apparently. The stuff that's sinning. We don't do astrology. Yeah, well, it does if you turn a blind eye because they're geographically dividing us in points of energy that relate to Taurus, Turkey. All bodies have a Taurus field, a sagittal plane and a coronal plane. Coronals, Chronos for Saturn, Sagittarius, which is in the Capricorn realm, where Saturn rules. Satan is the ruler of your body, like it or not, metaphorically. Satan rules this material world. But if we're Satanists that are actors and using it for, okay, bad purposes, then Satan's evil, of course, because they're using walls, bricks, geometry, pyramids. Why are we researching that? To understand our brain, that we're being manipulated easily, physically. They're harnessing the earth, her minerals. It's brilliant. Every degree of the earth, there's a parallel. In South Carolina, a 33rd parallel north. What does that mean in South Carolina? A parallel somewhere. North? The Nordic people, the Nords, the North people. Goes on and on, right? What were they doing with their temples? Stonehenge, stone temple pilots, the stones. Your stone is your skull. Atlas is a bone. He held up the world, and we're all reflections of orbs. Hence, we absorb with our sponges. You absorb things, SpongeBob. What are you absorbing? Are you absorbing toxic things? Or are you absorbing who you really are? What my man Artes showed you, that wall is your body. Your abdominals built those damn walls, brick by brick. Man or woman, gay or straight, don't matter. The temple is you, the body, raw. And these pharaohs came out of nowhere and said, no, you build my pyramid, get my coffee, you're a sinner, you should eat this, do that, go there, don't stay here, go away, we'll banish you. How? We're all equal. Interesting. Sorry, I'm just sort of flowing on what you showed.
Well, yeah, great, man. I always like the flow. I actually found that wall in one of the island of Kefalonia. You can see the wall going. Just to show you how far it goes. Here it stops basically. But yeah, there's some still some shattered pieces over here. So here's that wall going all the way. All the way, and then it actually goes that direction. So here's a corner. Yeah, you have some bushes, so therefore, then it goes this way, picks up here somewhere, and then it goes all the way to the other island, part of the island. Sometimes it's very hard to see because pieces are missing. Here you can clearly see the wall and its shape. And those stones are, again, not all of the stones, but a lot of these stones. So maybe this wall was constructed by a couple of civilizations or rebuilt by another civilization, because the oldest parts of this wall have the same building type as those walls in Pumapunku and Bolivia, with those strange shaped stones that fit very tightly together. So it was, and it's also on top of a hill again, so great effort to build that wall. And again, it's very smart without any mortar. So if there is an earthquake, the stones can slide over each other and slide back and forth. So it makes the wall very strong. And that's why a lot of pieces of those walls survived. But it's basically one piece of the wall. There are more pieces, but I won't show them all. But if you actually type in Cyclopedian wall on the internet, you can find bits and pieces of it everywhere in Turkey, Greece, and still Syria. Jay is checking the facts. I said, Jay, you're checking the facts.
No. I'm looking at my book because I'm looking at the patterns of the structures, and I'm realizing that if you want to follow the path, you have to follow your own path, or someone's going to make it for you. These ley lines, interesting, ancient pathways, literally manipulating the steps that every step you take, these songs, these lyrics, they're telling us something, I believe, very clearly. And your pictures are giving me a lot of good aha moments. So I'm going to shut up and let you keep going.
Well, it's interesting. And actually, I can type in on one thing. Ancient, for instance. Well, it's
Anyway, nowadays it's always good to recheck, isn't it? Because everything, things that you believed in all your life are just a bunch of lies.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a great, good
That's
indeed.
why Jay has got like he has, Artist has got like he is, and Angel wants to build his own pyramid.
Well, yeah, indeed. Here, if you type in Cyclopedian walls, here you go. Not one picture, no, a lot. See? If you want to do some research yourself, just type in that on the search engine, and there you go. Cool, eh?
Yeah, Jimbo's in the chat room. He says all lies. Just to let everybody know that Jimbo's coming on to do onto Sun and Moon on Tuesday to have a presentation. So I'm really looking forward to that.
Oh yeah, me too. So
Yes.
Tuesday is Jimbo night. Yeah.
Jimbo night.
I love the word. I love the name Jim. Jimbo relates to jovial, which is Jupiter. Jimbo.
Mm-hmm.
Hour. Brick by brick, eh?
Indeed. So if you just type in this, Cyclopedian walls, whoop, there you go.
Now, those were very heavy stones. Like we have to be asking ourselves, right? Our ancestors had their shit together. They lifted those somehow, or did it?
Yeah.
Artists, are they all looking about the same age, the stones?
Yeah, roughly. Not all of them. But they have a similar construction. And also you can see over here, big stones again, and repaired by smaller stone. And this is in, I think it's somewhere in Greece. It's a very small picture, so sorry for that. But I can make it a little bit bigger if it works. So you can see a little bit more. And actually you can see again, just like in Peru, big stones, big blocks of stones. And then again, repairs by a later civilization with smaller stones. So again, an old civilization built that wall. And after that, there came another civilization who didn't have that skill anymore and built with smaller stones with mortar between them, because the older construction over here is without mortar. This is the Lion's Gate. I think it's somewhere in Greece, but or very close to that country. And then this guy pointed it out with the blue square. He points it out. Look, this is clearly done by another civilization. So there are a lot of walls around, and here's another one. I don't know. They're all over the place. Here again, tight-fitting stones, and later construction built on top of it. So it's also with churches. Churches often the foundations of churches are on older, ancient constructions, and they sometimes use the part of the construction that was still there on that site for a wall of their church. So a lot of churches are built on ancient sites. A lot of them. Probably more than we can imagine. So that's interesting that...
yeah, more than ever imagine, I reckon, is about right.
Mm-hmm.
We've talked about this before, even with Jay here. Jay, you should go and say hello in the chat room. There's loads of your fans in there now.
Hello.
Yeah, the fact that they destroyed they destroyed a lot of the pyramids and then built churches on the top of them.
A lot of ancient
maybe they found them destroyed, but let's just say they built churches on the top of the bases of pyramids, or even right on top of them, so they're right above the pyramid.
Well, not pyramids, ancient sites. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Not only pyramids, they built on top of ancient sites.
So maybe that's really feel good when you go into a church. It's not really anything to do with the church. It's actually to do with the ancient structures and ley lines it's sitting on.
Yeah. I can actually, doing research. I'm not finished by a long shot, of course. Ongoing research. I can show you some pictures of actually churches built on ancient sites. Here you have one. See? Ancient blocks of stones. Very tight fitting together. The church is built on top and around of it. This is another angle of that same site. You can see big stone blocks, and this is just a modern day building type of a church with cement mortar between the bricks. And this is without any glue, mortar, cement between it. And
go back,
please. On that side. Go back one.
He wants you to go back, artist. And just to say, Jay, the chat room are going, Jay. Find the chat room.
Am I supposed to do something? I'm sorry. What should I do?
I sent it to you in the link. When I sent you in Messenger, there was the Hangout link, and then there was the watch page link. So it's the watch page link. Everybody's Jay.
I don't know how it works. I'm trying to. Do I click on something?
If you press watch,
get your phone, go on YouTube. Look up Sun and Moon Group Family United, go into the chat, and you can write to people.
In my phone?
I'm
sorry, y'all. I don't know how to do this. I'm sorry. It's not. I don't know how to do this.
Sorry, artist. I sent you 2 links on Messenger. If you go and press the second link, which says watch page, it will take you straight to the link where we
watch. Oh, I see. Okay, gotcha. I clicked on it.
Your fans need you to say hello, Jay.
Yes, totally.
That is extending forward there. What's that? Has it got holes in it or something? Why is that?
Yeah, it has holes. Here, there's a hole here and here.
No, not there. The one that's in front. Yeah, that one in front. That one, yeah. What
also has holes. Yeah.
For flowers.
Maybe they need to.
Can you zoom in?
They made them afterward, but these holes in that area here, they are not made. I can make it a little bit bigger. Here, these holes are made for to put the construction in place or the stones in place. But these holes, they look a little bit. They may probably carved in later and need to put flowers or somewhat else in there. They don't appear to be, but who knows? Maybe they are part of the construction.
Is there something on the opposite side of that?
Yeah, here, this is the other side of the wall. I will make it a little bit bigger. so you can see it clearer.
Sorry, they're starting to put "We Are Dancers" because you haven't done that one, Jay. They're starting to put "We Are Dancers" in the chat room.
Let's do it. Let's do it quickly, okay? Good. On the count of 3, we'll try to be in sync. 1, 2, 3.
We
are dancers.
dancers.
Better. Better.
Thank you, teacher.
Yeah.
Thanks, teacher.
I learned from
One
you.
day we will do it in sync. One of these days.
Well, how do we do it with the chat room though? Because they're all going to start going, "We are dancers" now. We're finished.
I'm a carpenter.
Much
Well,
love. Much love
You can
to the chat room,
Jesus.
man.
We are dancers, but we are also researchers. Researchers.
always.
We're dancing researchers.
For
Dancing
those
researchers.
holes, what are they for?
I don't know, Astro.
They're specifically placed, not just like random. They're specific. They're so you could measure.
They're to let
I
water
guarantee
out,
they'd be
aren't they?
so
They're
even.
to let water
Also, the
out,
2 stones on either side of that.
aren't they,
What are they for?
Astro? To let water out.
It's more. I
don't
think
know,
they
why
are
would you
more used to put the stones in their place.
Maybe, whatever. I don't know.
Well, if it
Dunno.
was water, you have 1, 2,
2, 3,
3,
there's
4,
loads, yeah.
5, 6, 7,
You wouldn't
8,
need
9
so many for that.
holes for water. Well,
Yeah.
could be, but I don't know.
Why would you have 8 holes for water? Just do 1 and save yourself a job. Think
Well, if
easily.
Yeah. But you never know what it was used for. So
No, exactly.
this is another one. This is
Ooh, I like
all
that.
together. Foundation is
Yeah.
basically.
So very quickly, artist, someone put in the chat room, "Harsh truth engineer." He says, "We are dancing researchers." Lol, it's starting to sound like a pop group.
Yeah.
But don't expect me to sing because I'm terrible at singing.
Well, we can do maybe some singing training with Jay.
We
No.
can all sing. There you go.
Well, we all can. You can't. I'm joking. I'm joking. I'm sorry.
You battled me, yo. You just battled me, son. Whoa, you want to bring it?
Hey, you got it. You got it. Bring it on. Bring it on. Bring it on,
He
son.
does rap,
No, okay.
doesn't he?
I like this. I like this. They look like
What you
mushrooms.
call my mama? What you call my mama?
Your mum?
You notice it's never your father. It's always your mom. It can't be father. Why don't we make fun of the sister and the damn brother too, and the cousin and shit?
Yeah.
Yeah.
On the way. Well,
Yeah, I don't
probably
have that
Jay will
problem.
like this picture. With
There's one there for you, Jay.
yeah.
Yo, what's up?
Interesting. Mushrooms.
Did I miss
Mushroom.
something?
Mushroom shapes. Well, basically, it was this church is very old. You can see also there's a window in the church that is now blocked off. So you can see this part of the wall of the church was for something else. So yeah, a blocked off window, another blocked off window, a church. Basically, in a cemetery, they want to demolish the cemetery. Yeah, sometimes they do that. They demolish an old cemetery and dig everything up and then build houses on it. That's also what they were trying to do here. But when they were digging, they stumbled upon this. They don't know what it is. There are some people who say it's for,
I'm just going to get a quick drink, okay?
okay. So again, here, very close to a church, there's an old site and probably also still under the church. Here's another one. I will show another picture. Basically, what they did is this is an ancient wall. Like you have them all over the place in Peru and Bolivia. And they built a church, you can see with smaller stones. Not that great of a skill. They built a church on top. And if you go into the church, you can see the walls. Here, there's one wall, there's another wall. They basically built the church on top of it. Those walls are very ancient. You can see also some damage over here in this wall. Probably it was hit by a very strong force. I will go to that section here. This is very strange. It's almost like it melted the rock or crumbled, but also a little bit melted. This part.
Yeah.
Very strange.
Look at the corner there.
Yeah, the corner indeed.
Very jagged. Looks like a knife to cut bread.
Mm-hmm. And it is for the rest of it is very straight. Again, tight-fitting stones. You have them all over the place in Peru and Bolivia. You can't put a credit card between them. And they basically built
soft stone though, you can see, can't you? Because it's shelled off. So that corner is probably just weathered away, I would imagine.
Could be. Could be.
Yeah.
These are now some other structures. You can see it's demolished there. It was once much higher. Like those walls in the distance. But yeah, a lot of times they took the stones from those sides. They are loose-fitting stones, and these are not that big. And they just took them from the side to build their houses. So a lot of sites were destroyed because the people used. And again, here on this side is a church on top of it. These are some other pictures on that side that are interesting. But let's see, you can see again one part of that old wall, and they built a church on top. Even here, the doorway is still intact. Or maybe they rebuilt. And they used the other stones of that site to build their foundations for their houses. And again, a church on top of it. And this is the same location. This is another location again. In the courtyard of the church, there's an ancient wall. Exactly the same if you have in Peru and Bolivia all over the place. Here's another church. This is in Mexico City. Again, you have an ancient wall. And they built a church on top of it. Very clear that this is older than the church. There's just, you can see here, this is a part, they just leave a small section. And then they built a church again on top of it. Here's another one.
What's the symbol up? Sorry, Artes. What's the symbol over the door there?
It's a cross with a foundation.
Just a basic cross.
Yeah. With a circle around it. Yeah, this is basically another church built on top of it. You can see these are those strange looking stones that you have all around in Peru and Bolivia. With those strange corners. And then again you see the Inca civilization built with the smaller stones. But yeah, they destroyed it and built their church on top. That's often on here, a very big church with also an ancient wall. I have another picture. You can see basically they used this wall, part of this wall, to build the church on top of it. See? You can clearly see this is very odd, out-sticking thing. But yeah, it was already there, so they used it. And probably other stones from their side they used to build the rest of the church. Here you can see very clear different kind of stone, and this is also identified as a wall that predates the Inca civilization. Even inside of this church, they built a church around another part of that structure. Again, yeah, this is very clear, predating the Inca civilization. Very tight fitting here. This is from what they just built the church around it. So it's inside it. They used one wall for the church.
Where is all this artist?
The ruins of Coricancha. The ruins of Coricancha, one of the walls at the church of Santo Domingo in Cusco.
Okay.
And here's some kind of altar of whatever it is. Again, those tight-fitting stones. And again, the knobs on the stones, like I previously say in other construction, again, the knobs on those stones are situated on the lower part of the stone. Again, see? I'm going to ask Brian Forster that question. Why is it every time, if you have an idea about it, why every time those knobs are situated on the lower part of the stone. Sometimes they are in the middle, but let's say 90% of the time they are situated on the lower part of the stone. So that's interesting. Another church built on an ancient construction that predates the Inca civilization. And those false doorways. Every time you have those false doorways, it's not a window. It never was a window, and it's often sound resonant. So if you sing or play an instrument with a flat E sound in it, this wall starts to resonate. Here is another ancient site where you can see it's basically a cave construction site. Again, there's a church built on top of it, and this is in Georgia. So the country, and Georgia. The country.
Russia.
Yeah. And here's another. You can also see some strange strike again on the angle. You see that sometimes everything is broken or just weathered on the same angle. You can see that in also other ancient constructions that everything is, for some reason, is on the weathered away on the angle, or it's struck, or it's broken off on the same angle. This is another church in Lebanese city. In a Lebanese city, I don't know what city, but in a Lebanese city. And actually, the wall is inside the church. They use it as part of the wall, but they left a piece of the wall still intact inside the church. So, this is something else. Olé Tambo. And just to show you that a lot of times churches are built on ancient sites. And these are just some of I found. Probably there are many more. So that's why I also say, if you go to an ancient site, bring your compass, a real compass, and record if the compass is moving around or pointing in another direction all of a sudden. But also do that in your local church. If you go to church Sunday, just bring your compass and let's see if you walk through a church, if the compass also goes in various directions. And that if people would do that, I will be very grateful. Just send the link to Karen or to me in some way or another. Because I want to do that also in churches. Just go walk in with the compass inside the church and let's see if there's the same type of movements as those other ancient sites Brian Forrester went to. And that you also could clearly see that the compass needle was moving in specific degrees. So. And that's also still on my to-do list, but we have to get some better weather here in Germany because it's raining almost 2 months now.
And the UK artists. We want the same, nice weather.
Yeah, you have the same shitty weather. Yeah.
I think that's because Germany and the UK are very close on, what is it, the longitude or something. One of them, we're almost the same. It's only the latitude that changes. So we probably get very similar weather.
Yeah, indeed, we have similar weather. Yeah.
Karen, Altez, do you mind if I share a photo?
Of course, there.
I didn't know you was
Sure, my darling.
Is that all right? Is that all right? Is that all right?
That's quite all right. That's quite all right, Jeff. That's quite all right.
Here it is.
Go ahead.
Here it is. It has to do with what we just said. So here's a church, and what symbols do we see here? Right? We see a pyramid, right? Mm-hmm. And the crucifix on top of, and then we have the cube. And all of that stuff you just showed, the circular energies, right? It's all there. So there's still, this is probably an old church, but everyone who goes to church today who does not see these symbols, that will save you a lot of headache. That will show you for a fact that you're praising something that comes from a certain point in history, a certain geographic place that used those shapes, pyramids, okay? And their ankh was the crucifix. It's just a loopy head. Uh-oh. So something's going on, right? A tetrahedron's a symbol of fire. We know Krestos means oil. Your seminal fluid is in your lower chakra. You have metal RA pyramids in your brain. Simple. They're showing you that your brain, the cross, the fiery heavens, your seminal fluids, you contain your sexual energy. You don't screw everything in sight. You eat the right foods. And sure enough, you bring it back to your temple and you ascend back to your cross or your point, hence your cross dressers, cross trainers. Give me a break. It's so beautiful how, and we miss it because we're so organized. We have to get unorganized with religion, disorganize it. Doesn't need all that shit. Your temples are telling you what Artes is showing you. You go in there, you're going into a pyramid. You're going into your head. I've shown that. Very important you know knowledge of self to know it's about you. Colossians 1:26 and 27, the Christ is within you. I have a poem about it. Why? Because I care about connections. I don't care about, you can believe what you want, right? Bel and Eve, the bull and Isis and Venus. You can be a Taurus that believes what you want. But if you're a bull in a china shop, metaphors, who's white? Ether, Esther, Venus, the bull is Taurus. If you're a bull in a china shop, you can destroy your temple, your pyramids, your cubes, your earth and geometry. Why? If the earth is a damn ball, why is it, once again, I'm going to ask, a cube in frickin' geometry? Why is Artes showing us cube after cube? Beautiful structures, right? Squares on top of each other that weigh more than what we can lift today. And they're stacking them, building temples. They must have known a thing or two about ether, what moves things up, science, manipulation, using metals, sparking energy, chanting, using those buildings specifically to create the energy that's supposed to uplift humanity. You go inside, you feel, oh, instead you go inside, you convulse and get the Holy Ghost. What the hell's that? What kind of ghost are you worshiping? Why are you convulsing, right? Ask questions, not judgment. What is the shaking and rolling of the eyes? It came from the Jesuits. Ignatius of Loyola created all of that stuff. The whole, you have to possess yourself. That's the Jesuits, man. The people of Jesus, of your pyramid, your fire, your chi. Anagram for Christ. Very important to get it. It's so damn simple. The geometry he's showing us, it's about us and what it takes to get to the next level. Sorry, go ahead.
Just Jay, then, if there's a pyramid on top of the steeple, then doesn't that just say something anyway, then?
You mean in church?
Hmm.
The steeple, sorry, you mean like on top?
Pyramid. Well, you were showing us
Yeah.
it got the square, and then on top of that's the steeple, which is a pyramid, and then the cross is on top. But
Yes.
so we're underneath a pyramid anyway.
Yes, it's a, right, yeah, or a dome. Good point, beautiful, yeah. A flat earth metaphor. Actually, what I just showed, yeah, is a flat earth metaphor. Earth, beautiful, thank you, Karen, because now I'm on a different flow, this is great. Get the cube, perfect, in geometry, you can't debunk that. In the damn cube, I just showed you, they showed an arc, covenant, arc. Your skull is a curve, kaput, Latin the head. Then the tetrahedron, right, of course, on top of the cube. How does Earth ascend and grow plants? Plants grow up to the heavens. Earth is a symbol of ascension, not descension. Those are different chakras in the earth, elephants in the room. But it took those ugly energies to make us, so we kind of have to have compassion for the Illuminati a little bit, because elephant in that room, whatever made them, made us too. And it took them to get somehow to our consciousness, which is the higher one, which is exactly why we're seeing an inverted understanding of the cube, the pyramid, the cross, atomic energy. All of it is designed to go up. Even in science, they tell you, all atoms spiral up. When you see the sun rays hit water, what's the mist doing? The little mist. Where is it going? It's just going to Disney World? Is it going on vacation? Where is that vapor?
Breaking
Yeah, go ahead.
news. give a bit of breaking news. Obviously, Matthew was going to come on today, but like I've got this cold cough thing. First of all, we heard Vinny and other people and artists and Lady Co-Pilot. We had to hang out with her the other day privately, and she wasn't feeling very well. I hadn't felt very well. Now Matthew's got it, but he just said he can't come on today because he doesn't feel very good. But he just said, is anybody talking about the asteroid that's supposed to hit Earth today? Supposedly it's a big one. It just came up on my news break.
Oh, wow. Well, I personally would just say I wouldn't listen to anything that man is saying about asteroids at all.
Oh, yeah, we don't believe in asteroids, but if something big hits, then what's that then? Because it ain't an asteroid.
I don't know. Someone else chime in. Go ahead.
Well, if
something
big happens that gets a lot of attention, it's most of the time a diversion from something else that is happening.
They're asking you to look up when it's happening down. Can I just say something else as well? We had Lavana on the other day, and Lavana's in Hawaii, and she's one of those poor people that received one of those texts saying that an incoming nuclear missile was coming. And then I thought about it. I'm not saying Japan is the furthest out, but I reckon that when I was trying to look up time and date, that the sun probably actually hit. The light will probably hit Russia first, but Japan and Australia are sort of the beginning, aren't they? On the side of the flat map that they show you, right? I don't want to say too much because we're not going down the avenue of maps anymore. But and then on the other side would be Hawaii, and they were the two places that received those texts saying that the missile was coming in. Don't you just find that a bit strange? Just wondered if Hawaii's on that side and Japan's on that side, really, really far apart, almost to the edges of whatever, then isn't it strange that those are the two places that received those text messages? Just thought that was interesting. Observation, as you do now. You observe everything, don't you? We think about things differently.
Yeah. Well, Hawaii is the place of the volcano. Vulcan is the father of Venus. It's a fiery place. So it's all about these. It's an ancient soap opera. They know the point. Japan is Jupiter. You need a harness. Once again, the Vatican, they know how to time it. So when the lightning strikes,
the steeple actually being a pyramid. I never thought about that before.
Sorry?
I never thought about the steeple of the church looking like a pyramid.
It is.
I never thought about that before.
But think about steeple. Steeple comes from German steer means bull. Steeple, steer, it's Taurus. Tauruses are doing this. So if we don't look at if we don't look at what these things mean, right? Just simple. Like if we simplify it, it would make it easier because you actually, what you do determines your outcome. Physically, the words you say, they've created it so that they time things during a certain year, like what Artez said. They do things during a ritualistic pagan moment in history of astrology. New moons coming out. There was a super moon recently. Of course, they're timing it with the super moon. The moon is the first orb responsible for your soul when you ascend. Fact. That's a fact. It's the mother energy. So what's happening there, right? Why this timing now? They must know something. There's a satanic calendar, by the way. There's one, an actual calendar where they go month by month and they have names. Beltane. What is Beltane? Buyers of who? The bull. So maybe you're going to get people shot up or suicides, whatever the hell, right? Goes on and on. So Japan, what happens in Japan? Earthquakes, right? Suicide rates in Japan. Oh, the Japanese, they're really good with what? With data. Well, I wonder why they're good with damn data. I had an aha moment with the Asians. Beautiful. They're yellow like the sun. Hence the sun moves in degrees. That's why your Asians, in my opinion, are good with math. Damn it. Because the sun. We all have talents. Has to be. We have abilities. We're all from one source, but we have unique things. You know, Africans do this. Asians do. Why? The sun has different rays, right? If we don't know stuff like that, when they do these horrible acts, what happens? The first thing, we hurt somebody, we hurt ourselves, we freak out, we get the wrong information sometimes, and then that causes more harm than good. Know you are unique. I leave it open. Or maybe not. It's quiet. Am I still here?
Yes, you're still there. I just had to go out the room for a moment.
Oh, okay, never mind then. Cool. I'll just pick it up. I'll just basically just keep, dancing on the idea of a building. Building hides the word two bulls. Bill, an anagram for bull. Ding. Bells go ding dong. Those are the two bulls. Bill. Ding. What's that?
I'm back now. I just had to go out the room very quickly. Sorry. I was
You
listening.
don't have to apologize. This is your show. This is you're
Probably
creating
everybody
a
here in the street.
It's all good. It's all good. I'm just saying we have to know what our buildings are. What's your Solomon's temple? Sol, sun, Latin, Om, Hindu word of God. Solomon, the city of light in Egypt. Akhenaten built it. But you're Akhenaten. You're Cleopatra. You're all these gods. Every one of us are them. We just have to know the times of the year to know when the rituals partake. We have to know astrology well enough that when stuff happens like Hawaii, bombings, murders, staged events, we can then figure out who's directing the movie, who's choreographing it, and from where. Then we can return with a performance of something. Angel builds pyramids. We do a damn ballet of atomic energy in a pyramid with pictures of what Yudit has flowing as the set of the real orbs. That will get the subconscious brains and sounds of dolphins. I've come to an aha moment. I think the sound of a dolphin that echoes will repel whatever serpents from underneath Kevin Costner's Water World with his Eye of Horus. He's telling you something. Water World? Right. There are elements down there. That Atlantis, whoa. Of course, it's there. It has to be. We're not alone. We have people playing with us and doing things that aren't normal because they're afraid of us. They are afraid of human beings. Wouldn't you be afraid of something that you didn't understand in a sense that does amazing things like ascend? Think about it. Think about a being that is designed to when it goes out of the flesh, it goes back up there. Think about that. And think that maybe an entity that cannot do that, which would make sense, that does not do that, is up here with you. Simple. Now think about how frustrating that is. They're here with us. Who brought them? Venus. She created a flood, a cataclysm. Leo. It was a girl. Done. You can't debunk that. We have to respect our women too. The ballet has to have women who know who they are. Dancing in Angel's Pyramid with images by also Artes, or music where he's recording the echoes of dolphins. Cool. We have Karen come on as a dancing, moving around, doing what she might do, saying something. You don't have to be a dancer perfectly to performance, in my opinion. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, Voltron, right? What made Voltron? That damn, all those different cats, the cartoon. They came together and formed the six figures. They formed. Your baby drinks formula. Ah. What is your baby forming? What is she for? Fire, tetrahedron. Careful with your formulas. Be careful with your six figures.
Yeah, because you think all these formulas you've been following before were correct, and none of them were.
Exactly. You see how you and I are dancing? It's simple. We're dancing. Right. It's common sense. There's a formula. There's a science to the psyop. Hence, Cyclops is psyop. Cyclops is Saturn. I got it from this book. This guy decodes the two Babylons. Get it? It's well written, simple, no big ass Theo words. Theo means God anyways, for God's sake. We're all a reflection of that. And these books, these men put their neck out. Jehovah's Witnesses. Why is it a brick house castle? The Jehovah's Witnesses. We see the watchtower. What did Artes show us? A bunch of towers. What do you think they're doing? You know what I mean? What are they doing, right? Like, what are they building up for? Isn't there a term, the build up? The master builder, Hiram Abiff? You're a peasant. You can't know who he is.
You think they care
Sorry?
what it is? Because we're just living in deception anyway. The whole thing's a lie. So it doesn't matter. Well, the whole thing's a lie. It doesn't really matter what they're building. It's just all a lie. They don't care what's being built, just as long as it continues to lie.
They can't care. They're a different, yeah, okay. They're called vermin. Demons, we should research demons. We don't get into demons. other beings. Now, if I can chant Hare Krishna, this is amazing. Hare Krishna, and my plants grow, which I'm going to show you again because my plants are awesome. They remind me of how powerful we are. So the plant was dying once again. Nothing was growing for a month. And I chanted Hare Krishna. The thing grew life. The virgin birth, maybe? I had an aha moment. Whoa, who was born of a virgin? Now that's a birth. I birthed plants from this cortex bark of tree. So, haha, common sense, simple. I simplify this shit. Don't read thousands of books and get a headache. We don't have time for that shit. Nosebleed, fuck it. You are awesome. You're a plant, damn it. You're here to give birth. You can do it without having sex. That's the alchemical wedding. But you have to have your chakras open and be compassionate and be open to people like Karen and the Flat Earth group. Got to have that. But if I can say those chants, right, and bring forth that plant, think about if I do it in a dark way. It's very simple. I say something in Latin, not hating on Latin, but Latin. Oh, la 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 la. Maybe something will be manifested. Yes. Now, those demons that are manifesting themselves, they don't have your consciousness. They don't have your brain. They don't know what they're doing, Karen. They actually are afraid. All this intelligence they have is ignorance. They take the truth. They take everything about your brain, don't tell you about it. Your kidneys, what they really mean. Your clavicle, what it really means. Your phalanges, being a military, they don't tell you shit. Yeah, you know, boom. Here you are, you're this thing. And so now they can just take you on a ride. Hence
yeah, they can't even tell you the truth about your birth certificate, which is a death certificate. So we've started right from the beginning of never telling the truth about nothing.
Exactly.
We're born into a complete lie.
The Vatican City is on the city of the dead. You must understand what the term Vatican comes from. Vatica was an herb the East Indians would smoke to open their third eye. Let me say it again. Let me slow that down. Vatica was an herb East Indians smoked to open the third eye, not to kill your brain cells and be stupid like what they say marijuana does to you. The CIA, FBI, turning it into illegal things, marijuana. It's cannabis, Anubis, the dog god of Egypt, Sirius. You want to get high for real? You smoke the green shit. That's Venus's color. The Vatican does not want you to know that, which is why your weed is illegal. It undoes mind control. It kills brain cells and gives birth to new one. You have cannabinoid brain cells, by the way. Yes, you do. Cannabinoid is actually in your brain. Hence, when you smoke the cannabis, you are opening your abyss. The abyss. It's the same damn word. Where do you think you're going when you get high? You have cerebral spinal fluid. A hippocampus is the seahorse. You're going to the firmament. You're going up to the waters. Ping! Out of it. You're going into the heavens, man, when you smoke the ganja. Vatica is also the goddess of death. Now, I will explain to you what demonic energy does to Venus. I showed you what Krishna does. It gives life. Here's a demonic version. Vatica is known to be the goddess of death. I just told you that was an herb the Hindu people used. Now, here come the Latin people. They take that name and they decide it's the goddess of death. What is Vatican?
You can see what if it opens everything up and it'll make you think. They don't want you doing that. They're only giving you stuff to dumb you down, not to make you open up.
City yeah,
Vatican. I'm sorry, can I interrupt?
Yes, go.
Right, you're talking about cannabis and everything, and we have actually in our brains receptors for cannabis. We have receptors in our brains for ayahuasca or DMT, you know. Well, there must be a reason why we have these receptors in our brains. There's got to be a reason. They're not there for no reason, surely. I mean, we are made unique, aren't we? We're made perfect. There's a reason. And the reason is, what's the reason? To use them. Otherwise, we won't get any benefit from it. And we know that cannabis is like, it's the healing of the nation. I think the last count I had, it was over 700 good uses for, instead of using medicine. So instead
That's
of using
amazing.
medicine for like glaucoma and for, you know, like Alzheimer's, or there are so many cures with using cannabis. But the powers that be say, no, we're going to regulate it. Oh, it's still under, you know, we're still checking it out to see if it's safe or whatever. You know what? Fuck you, man, because no one died of it. All they want to do is make more and more money. That's it. That's why they're fucking regulating it. So, fuck the fucking powers that be. That's what I say. Sorry.
No. I agree with you. And it's funny you said 700, because in none,
at least
none is worth 700 in Hebrew numerology, which is where those Christians get their club of 700. What you just said, actually, I can sync with that and dance and show how that is an expansion of what you're doing when you get high. You're going to Venus, intervenous. You're entering the world of Venus, and they don't want us to have a sacred feminine relationship. Hence why women get raped and beaten and repressed and get sick in ballet, anorexia, and told they have to lose the weight, and Luke, because you're ugly, unless you have zits, you're ugly. No one will want to sleep with you. Horrible, right? They do all this stuff. It's a cult of death. Now, Vatica is Venus. It's the same name, V. Okay? Vatican City is built on the city of the dead. Skull and Bones is the brotherhood of death. Your Pirates of the Caribbean, they're playing with you. Johnny Depp is playing with you. Great actor, beautiful actor. Nothing about the talent, but there's something going on. The most recent Pirates of the Caribbean, whoa, it tells a lot. The people of the dead coming out in a voice, and you hear, whoa, in a corporate world? Wow. Right? Think about it. Think about it. Everything we have is slowly killing us. Everything we're eating today, drinking, the air, slow. And then we go to the movies. We have to perform, y'all. It's simple. Make an event. I'm calling all truthers. We have to make an event. And our goddesses, I encourage our goddesses to do truth. We need more females that have their understanding of what I understand, because everything comes from the woman. So I'm going to say that as well. I encourage women to come out and yeah, say, hey, we're awesome. We don't deserve to be treated like we're an afterthought. Uzzah, Al-Uzzah, another version of Venus. Uzzah in Hebrew is Venus, guys. What gave birth to the Uzi? Stop this fighting. It's ridiculous. The Hebrews and the Christians and Jews and Muslims and fighting, and you can go into a book in 5 damn seconds. Venus means that. Allat, L-A-T before Allah, and we don't give any acknowledgement. That's a simple thing. That should squash all beef. If you can't squash beef after that, there's something wrong with you. Mind control. Democracy, mob rule. I don't like you, so let's just burn the witches. Yeah, the ones who were in holistic, hallowed be thy name. You have hallowed parts of your brain, people. Research it. It's a fact. Hallowed parts is the same as hollow. Where would it come from? Atoms are hollow. Whoops, your brain's full of damn atoms. Done. I saved you hours of research and pulling your hair out and battling someone and debunking. Don't debunk. Share the bunk bed. Simple. The bunk bed is beautiful. There's nothing wrong with bunks. It's just who's in it. Who's in our heads. Zombies, Walking Dead. Rest in peace if she did die. The lead singer is from the Cranberries. Red Mars, the people of Mars. That's right. That's who we are. We're all gods of war, gods of blood. We're all Japanese, Jupiter. We're all Hawaii, Awa, Ahmen. Aloha, Eloah in Hebrew is a feminine term. Aloha, aloha. Wake up, people. Stop fighting. Damn, my God, it's sad. I get pumped from saying this. I never get bored. Not me. It's other cultures dancing together, right? There's no time for separation. There's no time for it. There's no time to think you're better than someone else. Better because you're so dumb. You're so dim. Salvation comes from Sol, the sun, sal. You have a solar plexus. You are the serpent. Hence your bicep, tricep, 2 and 3 is 5. You are a serpent. So you're so dumb, but you can be dumb. You can lose your cell salts. Too much ejaculation. Be careful. I have to too. I'm still practicing. I'm not perfect. Temptations everywhere. You know what I mean? I've got needs. I'm working on my thing. I slip up sometimes, right? But watch your cell salts. Watch the food. Watch your panicking. Every time you sweat, you're losing a part of yourself. And that's what these demons, they suck you. Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Kunda Buffer, the 7 deadly sins. What gets Buffy? Puff Daddy is a rapper, Puff. It's an insult, I think, in England to call someone puffy, too. It's like a faggot or something, whatever. These are insulting words, but at the same time, it means to puff, to swell. Bull comes from bole, it means to damn swell. Simple. What the earth is doing. What is the Michelin Man doing? This is gonna blow your minds. I just made this connection. What is the Michelin Man doing? He's standing in a Star of David. His arms are out. He's full of tires. Is there a land of Tyre? Satire is Saturn. Elohim means to turn. What is the Michelin Man doing? Atomic energy. The earth is the Nordic cross. Think about it. We have 7 chakras up and 7 below. It's very simple. Here's the cross. Here's your Michelin Man showing you Taurus fields, swelling, Puff Daddy, Puff the magic dragon, puffing. You smoke the weed, you're getting high, high, high jump. And the earth is a cube surrounded by tires. Can't be a damn globe. It's impossible. Even metaphorically, it's impossible. Look at your Michelin Man. What, the east and the west and north and the south, all those tires moving in directions, he's telling you that the earth is made of Taurus fields. The land of Tyre. You retire, don't you? We all go back to Saturn. He's the final orb that handles your souls. Shiva, the crown, your head. What's in your head? Sodium fluoride, organized religions, already we're dealt with. Boom. WF wrestling, you're done. Fast food, you're done. Too much sex, you're done. Of course.
It sounds like you're done anyway.
Yes, in a sense, you are. It's not your fault, though. It's not my fault. Like, and I'm compassionate, right? Like, I know I was born into a world that lied to me since day one. So when I woke up, like, really? No wonder why I was telling everyone, oh, the fascist symbol, that's the Nazis, and I was just running and telling, you need to wait, because I was angry that there was so much information in front of my face about me that I wasn't told. So as a teacher...
Yeah, you explained that about how, you know, like you were looking at ballet this way, and now you look at ballet a completely different way. But it was supposed to be ancient structures, and yeah.
Let us open it to more. Yes, please go. Thank you.
Oh no, it's lovely listening to you, Jay. But I don't know. We've been going for 3 hours nearly now. I don't know, artist. Have you got anything else to say? Artist, come back.
I'm still here.
Yeah.
Well, basically, everything I researched I already shared with you. So yeah, I basically shared everything I want to share with you. So if the other people want to share things, yeah, they're welcome, of course.
Yeah, I missed half of tonight because I kept getting. I missed half of tonight. I kept getting kicked off. Something's gone wrong. So I need to look at this again tomorrow or later tonight.
Some of that might be just one of those things, you know, Astral, just might be bad connections. Maybe there's an error in your area and it's just not been done yet.
Maybe.
Yeah, rather than they're
Well,
after us. They're after us.
I think we're pretty damn awesome. I think that we're pretty awesome. I think that we're brave. People in the chat room, your ears are brave.
We are awesome, but
People in
together
the
we're
chat room, well, you know, just I wanted to shout out. Yeah, like it's important that we acknowledge how this is a big deal. What we're doing, we're doing something. You know, we're communicating. It is something what we're doing. This is activism.
Exactly.
We're actively talking, and you know, if you actually make a connection from this show, could save someone's life.
True.
Simple.
Yeah.
True.
I know, and it's this word. Like I've started to say to people, do you know what anarchists mean? They all go, oh, well, it means that you're a rebel, you're bad, you're this, and you have to say, no, it just means freedom. We're freedom fighters,
Yes.
so we're anarchists.
Yeah. Thank you. But free your dome.
Really replace yourself to the words that have gone in and what they really mean.
Yeah, free your dome. Your dome, man. The dome is everywhere. Free your dome, your head. Yes, it's all about you. But the skull is beautiful.
Angel, flat earth corny angel.
I'm here.
Oh, is there anything you wanted to say, Angel? Because you've been quite quiet today. Just letting everybody know that Angel wants to build a pyramid.
Just been listening. The correlations of the words and such.
Yeah, all right then.
Hey, Angel, I love you, man. I love all of you, really.
We know you do, Jay, and you're just passionate man. Passionate man.
No, I really do. Like it's making me actually wiser. What makes me better? Yeah, it's people. It's not me. I have to have a vibe and I have to have energy. So it's really great.
We all need to have, Jay, ebb and flow.
Ebb and flow. Thank you, sir.
Plus and minus.
I have to make a comment. Half truth engineer. Sorry, he says, I think it's Karen's laugh that drew us in. Oh dear.
Karen has the greatest laugh. Karen's laugh is like it could knock down a brick building. It's so powerful. Great.
Really?
Love it. Powerful.
That resonation.
You hear the bass. The bass, yes, that's a prolific laugh, damn it.
Is it? Oh, I've got a bit of a whatever Matthew's got. I got it before him. You know, I had it a few days before him. I've had this cold cough thing for the last few days.
Yeah, the flu, is it? It's their time of vaccine.
Yeah, I need to go and get my flu jab. No, not joking. No joking.
Lemon,
do you know
garlic.
Something?
Put it in a glass, hot water, drink it down, and you'll be fine. And do
in
that.
America,
perfect.
They're vaccinating teenagers with the flu jab. Teenagers.
Turmeric.
I was watching this video about this girl. Even at the age of about 7, she was having a flu jab, and she's a teenager and she's getting the flu jab, and you just think, no.
But listen to what it's saying. Flu, fly, bird flu. They're playing with us. We have a Krista Galley in front of our skull. This is a new damn day, these bastards. We have the roosters in our head. We're supposed to fly, and they give you the flu. Bastards. And then fried chicken is a bird, right?
Well,
you see how it works.
Hey, listen, over a few days, Artist got a tickly sore throat. Vinny had it. So Lady Co-Pilot had it. Then I've got it, and now Matthew's got it. So can you imagine how easy it'd be to poison us completely?
Yeah. Well, and think about it psychologically too. Think about psychologically how many people get sick from just thinking a certain way, which is what a lot of illnesses come from. Fear, being around more fear. Once again, those are Taurus fields of energy. And yeah, I'm not surprised. And if you're eating, once again, what they're giving, learn everything. They give fast food at University of Iowa. They give you shitty food, you get sick, and then you don't know why you're on medication.
Because I thought when they were giving all the plastic food and all the sort of like, you know, all the things like, I thought basically it was prolonging our life because everything was to prolong the food, so we were being prolonged. Whereas now everything's about killing us.
What does time release mean? They have vitamins that are on time release. What does that mean, right? Time of the month, biological clocks. Ask questions. There's a beat. Why do police officers walk the beat? Why do coppers walk the beat?
You hit the nail. Jay, you hit the nail on the head there when you said ask questions. In fact, you don't even need to ask questions. Just listen to what they're saying. Listen,
Yes.
absorb, and you'll understand. You got that.
Beautiful.
I love you, Guy. You say everything so right.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. It's
man.
been a long road, and I've learned from the best. No, seriously, I've had to go through a process of figuring out how to say it in a simple way. And it's simple when you don't think as much too. A lot of thinking going on, thinking and thinking and thinking and thinking. And we think away like something beautiful, like, oh, you have a solar plexus and you're dying to get a solar panel when you're a walking solar panel. Done. You can live off free energy. Tesla knew that, right? So whatever, like, it's like we have Tesla. We are Teslas. Every one of us is a genius. It's like, the head is telling you the names of the bones. My God, it's beautiful. Cleopatra.
They want little sheep.
Go ahead.
They want us to eat.
Yes. The biggest name in history, Cleopatra, comes from clavicle. Etymology. You have a clavicle. Why would she name herself after that bone? Look at your coat hanger. It's gonna blow your mind. Look at your coat hanger. What is it doing? Tetrahedron with a hook, right? It's hanging. That's your collarbone. When you put your jacket on your hanger, you're figuring out who you are. Your 6 figures. You're going into your spiral. Why do they have a hook on the hanger? I see stuff like this. When you read the way I read, you get into etymology, you'll see this way. It'll happen. Your coat hanger is your damn clavicle. Why Cleopatra called herself the clavicle? What is it holding? Your temple. Look at the Sphinx. It's a pyramid shape on a parallel plane with its hands like this. Look at my neck as a pyramid. Look, your neck does that. And your clavicle is the flat earth symbol. The dodecahedron is ether. She's making your head round. She's making you rock and roll. Rolling stones. Once again, Tina Turner, rolling on a river. There's a damned beer, river rock or rolling rock, or I don't know. I think it's river rock. Anything that rocks or rolls, that's your head. But it's in ether. Your brain is all ether. Your computer comes from the brain. Computer is Jupiter. Hence your Nazis knew that and made the computer. And your TV, Telefunken, they made that funkin'? Funky, they're funky. Clever. Why are they so clever? They know what clavicle means. I leave it there. Very important information.
You can never leave it, Jay. You can't.
Your coat hanger is you. When you come out of the closet, it's not just about being, this pisses me off because I'm having another aha moment. When you come out of the closet, it's not just about being freaking gay, assholes. The closet's a cube, for God's sake. They're all square. Earth is a damn cube. Pandora's box is a damn cube. Pandora's Venus. Simple. That closet is Earth. You come out of the closet, you're coming out of your own mama. Okay? Every day you come out of the closet and pull your jacket on. Jacket is damn Jupiter, Jehovah. Your jacket, man. Man. I'm putting on my jacket. Now I'm going to go jam. You're out of the closet. The Chronicles of Narnia, the closet. That's Earth. That's you. It's your head. You're coming into the reality. It's not just about gay people. Why do we have skeletons in our closet? Skeletons, bones. Who rules the bones? Saturn, Capricorn, rules your bones in astrology, people. He's in your closet. Bring him out. That's your crown chakra, damn it. Wear that jacket.
Yeah, but
crown chakra is ruled by Jupiter.
One of the reasons that you can say all this stuff is because you've sussed out who you are as a person. So
yes.
There is no closet. There is no closet.
I am
if
a
you
star.
Don't know who you are, you're never going
Right.
to get all this. You have to know who you are.
You have to know who you are. You are the hanger. Okay? Why do airplanes come out of the hangar? Your hangar is also your skull. You have a crystal galley. Look it up. I always say this. By the top of your skull, what happens when you have an aha moment? When you get high, when you feel euphoria, you're flying out of your hangar. Your bird. Don't let them give you fried chicken. Nothing personal. I used to eat it. Nothing personal at all. Not judgment. I get it. Be careful with the bird symbol. Why is there a ballet called Swan Lake? There's the Swan Night in Freemasonry. What is the swan mythology? He walks through a forest, sees a girl, gets transformed into a swan. Form. Who makes your form? Venus. Your hook. Your Captain Hook. She's your Fibonacci. She makes your collarbone, forming you. These stories form energies, right? Swan Night. We have a Cygnus constellation, which means the swan. You better know your birds. All those birds are mythological superheroes. Kalumba's the white dove. Jason Argonaut's golden fleece. Tells Noah the flood is receding. Nisan 17. Walls of Jericho come tumbling down. The children of Israel escape Egypt on the same day. Nisan, like your car, 17. March. Mars, the time of war. Why Moses has horns in the frickin' Bible. Aries, the warmongering god. Simple. Very simple. Don't complicate it with people who want to dance with you and don't know rhythm. 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 Right. Right. Rhythm is right. R-H-Y-T. It's my right to be divine. As the Queen says, it's my divine right. And shame who thinks ill of it is on all of your English newspapers. That logo. It's our divine right. And shame who thinks ill. Who are they? Who's divine? What is my queen telling me about me when I'm buying my English newspaper? I see shit like that. I see that shit. How dare you? It's our divine right and our divine left hand, right? The left-hand path or the right-hand path? The left-hand path of sorcery is the dark one, Osiris, Saturn. The right-hand path is simply ether. The white mama of all colors. We're all white, black. You know what's funny about white? I just realized this. It takes 7 colors to make pure white light. So in a sense, white people, if you look at the white skin, it's a reflection of all things. It is a beautiful, there's nothing wrong with white skin. I'm not going to attack it as a black body. I know what racism is, but I know what alchemy means. And I know that your skin is the supreme combination of all colors. And you should be humble in that particular color. That's all I'm trying to say, as I'm humble in my dark color, which makes white, the color up there, the LED, all of its ether. I showed a damn video. Some of y'all watched it. My man, Astral wrote that he saw the rainbow. Good for you, because there are more colors. And I showed how through a window that was not red or blue, showed red colors and blue and white right in the middle. I have it on YouTube. Showed it in 1 minute. Santos shared it. I'm so honored he shared it as one of the top things, because that shows you from pure white light, you get other races or ideas. Red bull, blue bull. It's real. Watched my video. It's right. It was outside of my door in 3s. Red, blue, and white, like the Pepsi Cola can. Who's Pepsi? Egyptian god Pepsa. Guess what Pepsa did? He was a chaotic serpent god that battled Horus, the sun god. The sun is you. Pepsa is you too. You're also Saturnian, people. Remember, you have a coronal plane and a sagittal plane. You're all dancing with Satan or Saturn. Which way are you turning? And your Elohim, your sickle. Sickle cell, they're bastards. They're clever. Cleavage. Cleave, leave it to beaver. Beaver. Oh yeah, even back then they were clever with their TV shows. The beaver, the beehive. Freemasonic symbol. Who's the beehive? Venus. Beehive was a hairstyle. Venus. I could go on. And I'm having aha moments right now. This is all the ether. This is not me. Etymology will save lives. For sure. Can I get an amen?
Amen.
Amen. Amen.
Amen.
Look at that Egyptian.
Walk like an idiot.
Walk like an Artez just walk like an Egyptian. What are they saying exactly?
Yeah, how did the Egyptians
Why?
actually walk? Did they not walk like we do?
Sure, they walk normal.
They didn't walk like this, did they? That's kind of a little bit robotic and a little bit.
Oh,
Abba, dancing queen. You know who that queen is? Queen is Venus. Dancing queen is Venus, y'all, for sure.
and how old was she? Only 17. Dancing.
70?
Yeah, it's in the lyrics.
70 or 17?
17.
17, of course. Serpentine.
It rhymes with dancing queen, eh? Dancing queen, only 17.
Only 7. Well, if you add that, you get 8. You get your figure 8. You get your sine wave of Mercury. Your musicians are brilliant. I mean, they know a lot of them were very smart. I mean, unfortunately, some of them were led. But it's cool when you decode it. When you see it, it's like, wow, like there's more than just.
They had to make their contract, don't they? When they had to do what they were told to do.
Well, that's the problem, is that we are the problem today. In my opinion, we don't have to say yes. We don't have to say yes to everything. We don't have to go to work. You don't have to. You don't have to do a darn thing, actually. You have free will.
Yeah. Indeed.
Yeah, just stay at home.
You don't have to buy the shitty food.
Yeah, the UN will supply everything. Yay.
We are the problem. We are saying yes. We're getting up and we're feeding the war
I think
horse.
Michael Jackson got it right when he did that song, They Don't Care About Us.
Yep. They can't
That song
care.
was just perfect. That was just even everything about
They don't know
that,
how to ascend.
He knew.
They can't. Yeah, he knew. They don't understand what it means to be Christ.
I'd
To
like to
ascend.
say,
Go ahead,
Karen, they don't care about us. What you just said then, right? Who is in charge of us? We are in charge of ourselves, aren't we? We are our own sovereign entities. We are our own sovereign beings. That's who we are. I mean, we're so powerful, we just don't realize it. No one realizes it. We think, fuck it, nothing will happen because it's only me. It ain't only me. It's you and you and you and you and you and you. We are so many. We are so powerful. I won't swear. We are so powerful, and that's what's failing, you know, society, because we do not understand how powerful we actually are. And if we all realize it and we all say, do you know what? No, enough is enough. Today is today. I ain't taking any more shit or whatever it is we want to do, you know. We need to stand together and say, we are strong. Fucking hell, man, we are. We really are. And it's not just...
Do you know what, though? I'm not sure whether the rest of the world is ready for us yet. I mean, I just don't...
They don't have to be.
I don't see mass waking up anymore. I see people are waking up, and there are still people waking up. But there's been a mass wake up, and now it's gone a bit lully-like. And everybody's, the ones that have woken up, just waiting for this to happen.
Well, this is the information.
It's like we're all waiting for somebody to take charge of something. It ain't someone to take charge. That's what I'm saying. There's no one in charge. Right. We are in charge. Everyone.
Exactly.
Every single person is in charge of themselves. And that's where it is. We have to realize that we have the power. We, like I, you, everyone, we all have the power. And that's the thing we all need to realize. We have the power. We fucking have the power.
That's why this channel was made. That's what this channel was about. About not waiting and sitting there anymore and trying to make that change and make that difference. I mean, even if you can't do it completely on your own individually, look who's coming to the channel. Look who are my friends now. The group's friends. Look how much connection we're starting to make. I just wish it was
Yeah.
more and more, you know, like my family still look at me as if I'm crazy, you know. I just wish it was more.
We will be more. We will.
Well, we are.
We are.
We are crazy. You know what the word crazy is? We're seeing rays. Crazed. We see the rays of the sun. Crazed. You've been dazed and confused. Oozed. ISIS. We're always being used. USA is Ursa, minor and major. It's an anagram for Ursa, USA. We're being used. Used. USD beef. USD. Think about it. You're being used. Your debit card, remove the I. Debt. They're telling you. I see it every time I swipe my shit. I'm like, damn, I just fucked myself, right? I'm aware. I know I'm cutting my own arm off.
Contracts, any contract, all of it, I hate it now.
All of it. It's horrible. Even at the university, I had to sign a contract. Con means the serpent, right? I'm still somehow serving the beast. But here's the little difference here. I have some knowledge of self. I have compassion. I know that I have some flaws, right? I have a lot of making up to do, which is okay. But I know that when I go in that building, I have information, and as well as here, that can change someone's life in seconds. And that's
Look
the
at what
difference.
you just said. Contract. Con. It's a con.
Con.
And it's to
Yes.
track.
Good for you.
And contracts just mean everything someone else isn't responsible for. That's what they're telling me in the little one.
They're tracking you. Contract. They're tracking. Track and field. Tracing.
Don't sign anything. Don't sign anything. Yeah. Just don't sign anything, right? Where will it be? Yeah. If you don't sign anything, okay. I know Rich, the beer guy, he has this thing about the straw man, and he knows quite a lot about all this. If you don't sign anything, of course, you are liable in some ways, right? But there is a way of doing it. There is a way of doing it. But by not signing it, you're straight away, you're declaring yourself like, I'm not a part of it. But we need to learn more. We need to understand more and realize what we can do as an individual and as a collective and as, you know, as an awakened group or as an awakened entity. We are together. We are as one. We're all together. At the end of the day, we're all together. Nothing separate.
We can't even help it now, because even on our days off, we're talking to each other, aren't we, Astral?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We can't get away from each other.
You know what's funny? I choreographed a piece here about Earth and the idea that when you pollute and you drop something on Mother Earth, it's domestic violence and self-hate. Because when you're dropping plastics and just blah, 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 you drop it on something that doesn't know how to read that. It's a blade of grass, dirt. You put this foreign object onto a plane that's designed to grow natural things. You are going against the natural processes of your own body. When you drop something on the earth, and I used to do it, once again, not judgmental, it's a part of you. You are self-hating yourself. Look at all the pollution. That's a part of it. That causes your own stress. The fact that you drop, that's emotional baggage. The words are rituals. It's brilliant, and we are doing it. We're going out of our way, polluting the earth, polluting our minds with shitty music, shitty ideas that came from someone's thought, or they thought about it. They didn't know. Crazy. Like, we have to be careful with our littering. Don't litter. When you litter, you're clogging yourself. You're clogging your arteries. Art in heaven. You're an artist. Right? It's very simple. And you're beating up your mama when you pollute her. You're beating her up. What does she do? She takes that shit because she's Canadian Shield. She's a badass chick, pardon my language. She's taking cataclysm. She can take you, and she will spew us out if we don't get it right. And she'll start again. Oh, yeah. Earth is going to keep, she has to. She's taking demons and and you know what she's doing? This is what I saw. Because in the Loka map of the world, the Hindu map of the world, Loka, look at the levels. There's chakras under the earth. They're all sort of demonic. Okay, we get that. Now, I can't judge demons. I don't know that they're all bad, but yeah, they're bad. So simple. It takes all this demonic energy to come to our plane. Think about it. Our Father, our plane, which is a hat, the circular idea of a hat, your yarmulkes, this point of energy, all of a sudden we find ourselves with trees and human beings and animals and air and things that go up. So it would make sense, right, that these demons would be some kind of a part of our puzzle that it took to build something beautiful. So, very simple. These demons don't know what dimension they're in. They're demented demons that understand how to do this. That's it. That's their dance. The figure 8. You see Pisces in that. The eye of Jesus. Your meniscus is doing that. Clever. They're geniuses. They can convert energy and use it for evil. But they take your good energy because they can. Because we allow them to. We say yes. We have to say no. If we all said no at once, we'd change the world like that. Just say, no, I'm not going to work. All over the world, if we stayed home, the government would freak out. Not one gun needs to be pulled, everybody, to change the world. Just don't go to work.
Exactly. What would happen, Jay, right? I thought about this today, right? If I did, well, for one, when I work, half of my earnings go to the state. But if I didn't work, I didn't earn, the state didn't earn, right? Well, if everyone did that, where would we be? Where would we be? Well, the government collapsed straight away because they earn a lot of money, right? And their wages, well, fucking hell, we can't afford you, so you got to go. And all those little miners, all those little minions at the bottom of the chain of the food ladder or whatever it is, you know, well, we're the last to go. So we're going to be the last ones to suffer in that sense. But you understand what I mean? Yeah, I agree. If we all stopped, something big would happen.
You know, it's true. But we're too busy thinking. And I think even people like who decide that they want to give a version of the truth and call themselves gurus and stuff like that, stand down, man. Stand down. It's not worth it. You're not going to ascend. It's not cute to pretend to be something and then to harm people who seriously want to go somewhere. There's so many people that can be influenced right now because they're going under hell because my tax dollars bombed their country. And I feel horrible about that. And I say, sorry, I'm going to put a universal apology for all the years my tax dollars, my federal illegal tax dollars harmed a hair on anyone. A universal apology is owed to my ancestors as well. I'm fully aware I'm a part of a cult. So
the whole thing we're in is disgusting.
Pardon me?
This whole thing that we've been put in is disgusting.
It is, because we're all playing a role in destroying the earth and ourselves just from working and paying.
We're paying wars. We're paying for wars, even though I'm so against wars. I'm so against destruction. Yet my tax is to fucking killing other people. Nothing to do with that. Nothing at all.
Yeah, and then you
I don't want to be a part of that.
There aren't any wars. There's just
be any
part
of that.
It's all a game.
Yes.
I don't want to be a part of that. If they said to me, your money, right? This percentage will go to a war. This much will go to foreign aid. This much will go to water. This much will go to your own government wages or whatever. This much is for you. You know what? If they did it something like that, I'd probably say like, you know what? Fuck you, because it's all corrupt.
Well, the big banks are just laughing at us, aren't they? Because they've already got the death certificates and and everything else. So it's just all been a big game. But can I just say, I don't mean to be a party pooper. We've been going for 3.5 hours. I've got to go to work in the morning.
Oh, yes. My gosh. Yes, of course.
I hate ruining a good chat because it is a good chat. But yeah, we have been going for, like I said, 3.5 hours. 3.5 hours, good time to stop really with a hangout.
Well, to be continued. Huh?
Yeah, always to be
later time and
good panel. Very good panel. And I just wanted to say that we have a memory bank. The banks got it from your head, your memory bank. That's all I wanted to say. Thank you.
Excuse me. Yeah, it is always to be continued. As you know, with this group, we have some amazing people here, all trying to communicate and tell us the truth. So we're back tomorrow, probably more an open panel. So far, we've got Tyne and Leisha, and Flat Earth Unity's going to come on, and Flat Fred is coming on, and obviously maybe us lot. Yeah.
I'm playing.
Yeah. Fogging on the background. Yes.
Anyway, we love Jay. He's a very clever man. And yeah. Love Astral.
I love all of y'all. I love all
Love
of y'all.
Yudit,
And the
love
chat room,
Patricia.
thank you very much.
Love Angel and love Artist. And we will be back tomorrow talking again. But we'll give the last word to Jay. Because he's got to say something again, haven't you, Jay?
I do. So on the count of 3, let's get into it, okay? 1, 2, 3. We
are
dancers.
Yes.
That was it.
Yeah, way. And good when you put your arms up and put your arms out. Energy going up and out. Because don't forget, they're making sure all the energy's coming in, and that's what makes you feel trapped. That's it, Astral, that's it. Up and out. Our energy needs to go up and out.
We call it radiating in yoga. Radiate.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, Yudit knows about that. Anyway.
Yes,
yeah, she might have gone to sleep now, but don't worry. She'll be watching this all again tomorrow. She's a #1 Sun and Moon fan. So again, thank you, Artists. Thank you, Angel. Thank you, Patricia. Thank you, Jay. Thank you, Astral. Thank you, Yudit. Big flat Earth hugs from us, and big flat truth hugs from us. And we will be back Monday evening. And yes, Lev, we are dancers, and we're free to be dancers.
Hey, and
yes,
thank
we
you,
are.
Karen.
Oh, hang on a minute. Mark says, who's the guy who texts me, we are dancers. Thank you, Mark.
Yes.
Anyway, good night from us.
Thank you,
Good
Karen.
afternoon. Good morning. Hello, Tommy there, Suzette, Anne, Boris, Star Killer, anybody else in the
Cheers,
chat?
Tommy.
Yeah.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, everybody. Yeah. And goodbye from us.
Goodbye.